Just one more day. Breathe. Just one more day. I'm here for one more day. Nightmares haven't gone away, but I'm still here to fight another day. I was sleeping so long, but now I'm awake, not leaving life to chance. I've made my own fate, because it's my time to breathe. I'm not going to leave. I'm no longer alone in the dark, 'cause it's my time to dance. Yes, it's my time to dance. We all dance the pain away, making it to another day. Just one more day. Today. Welcome to the Nielsen Ratings 2026, where we talk film and TV with oldies in the mix. We chat all things actors from Mel Gibson to Ice Cube, 'cause at the Outcast Creative we got the coolest panel on YouTube every Tuesday.
That's right. We have a fantastically cool panel of 3 people this evening. And that's the way we like it, because we get to talk about more things. You got a bit of a music interlude there, because you know what? As soon as I went live, I thought, actually, I haven't been to the loo yet. Okay, cue song, which gave me adequate time to dash off to the toilet. Let's just see who we've got in the chat today before I bring in my guests. We've got Drew Gordon, Snorterpoopus, the man with the most fantastic name on the internet. Keith, great to see you. FKHC 2005. Good to see you. Aaron, my good cinema buddy. We must do another movie soon, mate. Good to see you also. Fantastic. If you're new to the channel, do put a comment in the chat. I try to read out all the comments from new people, so don't be afraid to drop us a message. Now, we're going to be talking about lots of things today, but I've got a couple of important announcements I want to do before I show a couple of trailers. So I don't normally do this on the channel, but having been the victim of a missing person myself in the past, I just want to give a shout out. There are 2 children in London missing, 2 teens. Here they are. Police are searching for these 2 missing teenagers. Now, they've now been missing. It's actually for 10 days. This report is inaccurate. They've actually been missing for 10 days, not 9. 9 would be enough concern as it is. This is Ethan and Morgan Lee. I'm not sure if they're brother and sister or if they're cousins or they just happen to have the same surname. They could be anywhere in London. I'm just putting this out there because, you know, if you're a parent and you've ever had your children go missing, you'll know what an absolute nightmare that is, even if they've gone missing for a few hours, which I did once. Put my mother through that once when I wandered down the street to go and look at some fish in a pond of some distant neighbour's garden without telling her. Boy, did I get it. But, I mean, these kids have been missing for 9 to 10 days. So, obviously, this is of great concern. Just take a look at those pictures. Maybe also, if you want to Google that, share it on your social media. Only takes a couple of minutes. Doesn't matter whether you're in the UK, America, whatever. The more people that share, the better. It's always really helpful. Secondly, a bit more of a sad announcement. As you will know, I was involved in the post office scandal. I wrote and directed the play about that. It was actually the first dramatic narrative to cover the story. This is the biggest miscarriage of justice in British history. A lot of people were prosecuted for a faulty computer system, for stealing money that they hadn't stolen. It was an absolute travesty. It destroyed a lot of people's lives. People died as a result. Some people committed suicide, etc., etc. We did a play about this, and a lot of the victims of that scandal, in fact, came to see the play. And here are some of them with me on the last night of the first run in London. And this is at the moment when the chap on my who's got his arm around me and is holding the phone, he basically put his arm around me and said, we thought the British public had forgotten about us. You restored our faith in the human race. And the reason my head is tilted down at that moment was because it was the only way I could stop myself from crying. Now, the man who's standing to my left or on the right of this picture is also another one of the victims of the scandal, Mahmoud Kalia, whose family moved here from Egypt in the 1950s. And he was a postmaster, ran a post office successfully for many, many years. He was wrongfully prosecuted in 2001, and he ended up, he got a conviction for stealing money that he hadn't stolen, and was given a 5-year prison sentence. Fortunately, he only served 6 months of it, but as you can imagine, that completely destroyed his whole life. Mahmoud was one of the first people to stand up and come down to the front when we said, if you are a victim of the scandal, we would like you to take a bow with us tonight, which is when that picture was taken. And he became a dear friend of mine. Here's a more recent picture of me and Mahmoud together. This is at the publishing of the first report into the inquiry, 67 years of age. Now, even though he was exonerated 5 years ago, he still has not received his compensation for the time he spent in prison, for his business being destroyed, losing his house, losing his job, his finance, etc., etc., etc. Still hasn't received his compensation. Sadly, he passed away on the 17th of March. He was on holiday in Rome, had a triple bypass operation, and he survived the operation, but unfortunately got an infection. And there's a very nice biographical write-up about Mahmoud here on the Post Office Scandal website. I'll put a little link for that in so people can read that in their own time. Again, I don't normally cover this sort of thing on the show, but as you know, the Post Office Scandal is something that's very dear to my heart. I considered Mahmoud a personal friend. We always stayed in touch. He came to see my play 3 times, which for someone who went through the trauma, for him to come and do that and support us the way he did was nothing short of amazing. So my heart goes out to his family. Me and some of the other people involved in the production will actually be going along to, support the service and so forth. Anyway, okay, let's move on to film and TV stuff. Thank you, Drew Gordon, for that. I really appreciate that. So yeah, we're going to check out the trailer for June 3, which just dropped today. I thought it was a fake trailer at first. Not once I started watching it, but I thought this can't be right. Really, is this out? But it is the real thing. Let's have a look at it, and then I'm going to bring in my guests, and we're going to talk about that and one other trailer. I'm going to show these back to back. So let's do this before we get into that, because we've got 2 we're going to talk about. Here comes the second one. And this is the new Jack Ryan movie, no less. I thought it was going to be a TV show, but no, it's now a movie. Okay, let's bring in my guests. We've got my regular co-host, of course, an ever reliable warhorse all the way from Texas. It's Enzo in the house. And talking of horses, Anna's also here.
Hello, hello.
Good to see you both. That's probably the longest introduction before I put in my guests ever. Thanks for both coming on today. Good to see you both. Shall we talk about June, first of all? The first question I should ask you both, were you both fans of the previous 2 movies? Did you see the previous 2 movies? How did you enjoy those?
Pretty good.
That's what I like about Enzo. He's always like short to the point, no nonsense. Pretty good.
Not
pretty
true
good.
at all.
But Anna?
Yeah, I saw the other 2, and I've actually read the books up to halfway through Children of Dune. I never finished it. I really liked the first movie and was really invested. And the second movie was fine, but I was just, for whatever reason, may have just been a personal thing. I wasn't near as invested in it. And I saw this trailer and was like, oh, that's neat. I thought it was a well-constructed trailer.
It's hell of a teaser trailer for 2.5 minutes. I mean, the first trailer. But, yeah, I know a lot of people have a problem with the second movie because Zendaya does this, like, heel turd or whatever. I'm digging the Sub-Zero poster with him and this mask and his, I don't know, scarred up eyes, I guess. I don't know. The trailer looked cool. I was making fun of all the epic music that's in all the trailers, and this is one of the few times where I'm like, oh, this actually is epic, and it actually does fit. I was watching the Super Mario Galaxy trailer where they take the fucking Mario music and just add big Kodo drums to it. It's like, shut up. Stop it. Stop trying to make everything epic. This is one of the few times where it's like, no, make this epic. Yeah.
Or the boom sound effect.
Yeah, boom. Yeah, they do that less now. But yeah, the big shot from this trailer that I loved was it like you're running with all the soldiers like getting fired upon by airships, like first person view. That was cool.
Oh yeah, and the camera panning. I thought all of the shots were gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm quite excited for this.
Well, it's gonna be our first time seeing Dune Messiah because I've seen the Lynch movies and it just never really feels like it wraps up. And the second one, but I wish they were calling it Dune Messiah, and the second one had a different title, like Dune Part 1, Part 2, Part 3. I guess. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, I guess.
Well, they could have been more imaginative, but I'm looking forward to this. I agree with Anna. The second film, I wanted the end battle, the big battle at the end of Part 2, to go on for at least another 5 minutes. It was all over way too quickly, and I didn't feel it justified the journey. It was like I wanted a bit more. I wanted a Minas Tirith level battle. And I mean, I know that the bad guys are pretty screwed from the get-go with the Worm Army and all the rest of it, but nevertheless, I just wanted to see more. I'm sure that a longer edit of that battle exists out there somewhere, and I've resisted buying hard copies of Dune for the very reason that no sooner had the second one finished that I heard that the third one was already shooting, and as soon as I heard that, I was actually really pleased because I thought, yeah, this doesn't feel like we've seen the whole story here. So I'm glad that we're going to get that. I did see the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune Messiah and Children of Dune.
Was that the one with was it James Franco or James McAvoy? It's one of them.
James McAvoy.
That's the one.
James Franco sounded.
No, I don't think. Don't think James McAvoy was in it though. It was because the guy who played Paul Atreides.
It was James McAvoy in the miniseries.
Yeah.
Let me just have a look. Children of the guy who played him, Alec Newman, who played Atreides, is actually a friend of mine, and he came to see. He came to see my play about Northern Ireland because the guy who played, not Gurney, the role that Aquaman plays. What's the character name?
Not Duncan Idaho.
Duncan Idaho, thank you. What's wrong with our brains today?
Sorry, my brain stopped working.
The character of Duncan Idaho in the Sci-Fi Channel version was played by an actor called Paul Watson. Paul Watson was in my stage play, Sticks and Stones. I was directing him, and he had literally just come off the sci-fi version of Dune. He just shot it. So I had most of the cast of the Sci-Fi Channel version of Dune actually came down to see my play, and there I got to meet Alec Newman, and I've met Alec several times over the years, and he did say he would come on a podcast at some point, but when my phone got scrambled by that virus. I had his phone number, and it got sadly it got deleted. Julie Cox, who played the princess, she also came to see my show as well. So there she is there. I like the costume. I have to say, I always like the costumes in this version. I thought the costumes and the production design in this version were actually quite good. Going back to this one though, I'm quite excited. I think that's a good trailer. It doesn't give away too much, which is good, because that's the problem with a lot of things. I'd like to hear from people in the chat. Are you excited for this? Are you not that bothered? I'm definitely going to go and see it at the cinema. And for me to say that about any film these days is a big deal, with money being so tight and the cost of living going up yet even more now.
When's the release date?
I'm gonna go see. It's December. I'm gonna go see.
Okay.
I'm gonna go see Hail Mary this weekend. Or
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see
this Thursday.
Yeah. I'm gonna see Hail Mary. I will have seen Hail Mary, I hope, before the next Nielsen ratings.
Yeah, for sure. We'll talk about that Tuesday.
Enzo, are you tuned into this? Javier Bardem and Timothy Chalamet said controversial things right before this trailer dropped. What did they say? I'm not up to speed.
I know. Are you talking about how Timothy Oh no, yeah, you're talking about how yeah. So Javier Bardem said free Palestine, whoopty shit. And then Timothy Chalamet said who gives a fuck about opera and ballet, which I agree with.
Oh God, yeah.
He was right, and he even said it more like diplomatically than that. He just said he doesn't want to be in a field or in an artistic endeavor where they're keeping it alive just to keep the art alive.
Right. His whole thing was like, look, we got to go see movies in movie theaters, and he's like, well, I'm not going to be begging people to be going to the theater. If they don't want to, they don't want to. I mean, you can't just be begging people to go see opera and ballet to keep it alive, is what he said. And this idea that like, oh, that's why Timothy Chalamet lost the Oscar, because it's like, no, that's not why.
No, that's bollocks.
No.
I think I was pretty upset
Oh, sorry, go on, Enzo.
I was pretty upset that Ethan Hawke didn't win. He totally deserved that award. He was robbed.
We're jumping topics to the Oscars, and we are going to cover the Oscars. So let's keep it on track with these trailers for the moment. I've got my own thoughts.
The positive, because it got like I don't know how many million views it's at, but the DUNE trailer has been making waves since it dropped 4 or 5 hours ago. So maybe it'll be Timothy Chalamet has seen like heaven and hell in the last month in terms of his popularity. But there's the weirdest social media campaign around the Oscars. There was like a fake post that was going around and got quite viral of supposedly him falling down the stairs with someone completely different at a completely different award ceremony in 2011. But everyone's like, oh, he should have taken the ballet lessons. And it's like, oh, come on.
It was I thought that was a funny joke. I mean, there's always trolls and stuff. I don't think that was like political. What I do find funny is we like the stupid people, the stupid keyboard warriors on the internet. Like they loved Timothy Chalamet until they found out he was straight. And then they loved Pedro Pascal, but now they found out his gay boyfriend is a Jew. So they hate that because down with Israel or whatever. These people are so fickle. They don't give a shit. They have no loyalty. They have no actual what's the word I'm looking for?
Integrity?
Yes.
Or consistency.
Yes.
As Darren pointed out, 3.5 million views in 5 hours. Numbers that Enzo and myself can only dream of at the present time.
So I've got a question for the both of you, because this is the final film in a big trilogy that has been, whatever you think of Denis Villeneuve, has been, I'd say, expertly directed, has had beautiful costume design and visuals all the way through, has had really good ratings, and has been quite popular. How do you think this compares with other major movie trilogies of the last 20 years, especially ones that are based on well-known novels?
Okay, with the caveat that we haven't seen the third one yet. So with that caveat in mind, I mean, the other great trilogies are Lord of the Rings, Back to the Future, the original Star Wars trilogy. They're the three.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, think of For instance, like the hype and build up between, with all of the criticism, even so, between the second and third of the Star Wars prequels, because those were big movie events, no matter what you thought of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I'm glad that they're just wrapping it up because there's been a bunch of book series I don't care about, but they've been adapted into movies, and it's like what was it? They try to redo Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe. They try to do. How many book series did they attempt to try? Like they attempted to Harry Potter or Twilight, where they were going to do the whole series. They made like one or two of the movies, and then just kind of fell off. Like
Uh-huh.
Well, they did all of Harry Potter. They did all of the Harry Potter books.
They were trying to do the next Harry Potter multiple times with multiple franchises. And yeah, I'm just glad that this third movie is actually coming out because like it would have been annoying if it hadn't.
I'm glad it's been concluded. It doesn't top, and I don't think it will top either of the other three trilogies that I mentioned. For me, Aragorn was a failed attempt to do an IP of a fairly well.
You're trying Aragon again.
Well, I mean,
but that's true. There were also 3 Narnia films, and they were something
Narnia's.
at the time.
They're filming the new Narnia right now.
Yes, they are. They sure are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Barbie director Greta Gerwig.
Everything I've heard, I'm a big fan of the novels because they were read to me when I was young, and then I read them, and I really followed with a lot of interest each of the Narnia films that came out.
But they did. I mean, okay. You also had the Hunger Games, which ended up being 4 movies. Should have just been 3, really. But they split the last one into 2 parts. You also
always split the last one.
Yeah, they did Divergent, which didn't complete. I did see the first Divergent film. I didn't see any others. And then it was quite funny though
Maze Hunter, wasn't that another
Maze
one?
Hunter was the other one.
Maze Runner, yes.
Maze Runner. I think they did all of those, didn't they? They did 3 of those.
I don't know. I haven't seen a single one.
I think, although since those are like teen dystopian fiction during the dystopian wave of books and then films, it's not in the same category of like adapting classic fiction.
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, a young adult might argue with you that
I can't wait till they try to make
I'm not saying
I can't wait till they
horrid or anything.
I want them to make the House of Leaves movie. I can't wait for that.
The House of Leaves.
I'm joking.
Snow falling on cedars. That needs another remake.
Everyone has to move to different seats and sit upside down and do various other things to watch the movie correctly.
I heard one of the reasons that this didn't go further, apart from the shaky box office, because if you know the backstory to Aragorn, the books, it was written and published.
Goddamn plagiarized by a child.
It was very
he was
young,
like 14, 15 when he wrote it. Christopher Pellini.
He was a very young kid who basically plagiarized a lot of other fantasy novels. So there was very little stuff in it that was original. But, it was original in a Quentin Tarantino way. He took a lot of good ideas from various things.
He did something right to get insane popularity and to write 4 doorstops. He could have used a better editor to cut down because there's quite a lot of purple prose in there where you're like...
Well, I haven't read them. I do know that on the grapevine in the film industry, he was a fucking nightmare to deal with the rights and screenplay and all the rest of it. And every time he was on set, people were like, "Oh God, here we go." So that's what I heard.
I feel like that's another thing is like, this book was written by a kid, so kids buy it. I don't know. It's kind of like Clerks, movie fans watched Clerks because it's like, oh, I could make a movie. Little kids are reading this book because like, oh, I could write a fantasy novel series. I just remember it was the movie. Gillian Anderson, right, is the voice of the dragon. She talks like psychically to the boy because lip animations are expensive. And what else?
Oh, was that why?
I assume so. Dragonheart, it was weird with Dragonheart when the dragon actually talks with his mouth, honestly. The psychic thing actually, I'll allow it. Dragons are magical, right? They do all kinds of crazy shit. Also, psychic talking is cool because it means only one person can hear the dragon, in a room full of people. I do dig these posters.
I
think
do
they're
as
really
well. I
nice.
really like these. They're great, aren't they?
I like everyone's talking about Florence Pugh with her mud mask, and like I said, the first poster they dropped was the Paul Atreides wearing the Sub-Zero mask. I was like, whoa, is this Mortal Kombat 2? No.
Florence Pugh's a great actress as well. She's
absolutely stacked cast, and each one of them is going to deliver an excellent performance once again.
Yeah, I can't. I'm quite excited to see it, and I will go and see it on the biggest screen possible. It's a good trailer as well. I really like the trailer. I think it's
the second one. Honestly, the second one was awesome. There's like a big moment where all of a sudden I was on board when it's just like everybody else in the village or in the cave, like, you know, who is this guy? And then he starts like psychically, like after he drinks the worm juice, you know, and he starts like knowing everything. He's like one with everything. I was like, holy shit, this guy's the real deal. Like I'm on board now.
You're falling for the propaganda. The golden path is not as golden as it seems.
Right. Yeah. War is hell. It's a self. What does he say? It's like it feeds on itself.
Your father didn't start a war.
Well, we shall see. We shall see what happens in December. Look forward to it. I see in the chat somebody said the best sci-fi book, Ryan Potter, on loan from his Phoenix Nights Club. The best sci-fi book nobody knows of that should be filmed is The Rediscovery of Man. Well, I have heard of that book actually, and I know that for a fact that it's got extremely good reviews on Amazon. It was being plugged at, I think it was Forbidden Planet. It's also, got a quote from Terry Pratchett on the front, which never hurts a writer to have. That's available on Amazon. 138 reviews. Any book that gets over 100 reviews on Amazon, which means there's 100 people that actually bother to do a review, which is good for you. And most of them are 5 or 4 stars out of 5. So if people are looking for a new sci-fi book to read, maybe you should check that one out. By Cordwainer Smith. Cordwainer, that's an unusual first name, isn't it? I bet they had a fun time in the school playground with a name like that.
Probably just went by Cord or something.
Cordy. I'm going to guess. Okay, so we also saw the trailer for the next Jack Ryan thing with my favourite large earlobed actor, and it's good to see John Krasinski in there again. Because I do quite like him in the role. So this is Jack Ryan's Ghost War. So this is a movie, which I, was quite surprised to see because I'm not in tune with what's happening. But obviously it's predominantly been a TV show. There's also a friend of mine in it. So I'm interested to see that. I wonder if I can get him to come on the show. So British actor Max Beasley's in there. I didn't spot him in the trailer. JJ Field is also an actor that I've met. He was originally up for the lead role in the Pegasus Bridge movie. So I actually had a video call meeting with him about that role. Great actor, really nice guy as well. We've just seen the trailer. I mean, when I watched that trailer, it basically looked to me like London Has Fallen Part 2. But there is also a shot of a big battle in the Middle East somewhere. So, art imitating life as per normal. There is a lot of content like this about at the minute. We've got The Night Agent. We've got lots of kind of Born Identity shows. In fact, me and Jason Flemyng were talking about this earlier today, about how there's a lot of shows like that. And these kind of spy action thrillers with all the high-tech stuff and all that kind of thing. Is that a market that is too saturated at the moment? Do we think
there's lots of demand once again for dad slop because Krasinski's like 45 or 46 now, and he's in an action role, and this is appealing to middle-aged to slightly older men who've always liked Tom Clancy novels, who want to have a pretty you don't have to think too much, but you can think a fair bit, like a pretty chill adaptation that you can put on and enjoy, and you can see men around your age, you know, doing cool actiony stuff. It doesn't all have to be the young 20-year-olds. So I can see the appeal for that, and there's nothing wrong with Dad Slop, despite the name that the youths are calling it. It's got its market.
Yeah, I'm not
very good.
I don't really care for Tom Clancy or any of those Jack Ryan stuff. I mean, I like. When did Alec Baldwin play Jack Ryan? What was that?
Yeah, that was Hunt for Red October. I like Jack Ryan.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Harrison Ford also played Jack Ryan, right? Those are good. I like 90s Jack Ryan is what I'm getting. I don't care. I'm not really a huge fan of all that stuff.
I mean, I do like the Jack Ryan world, and I do like the Bourne movies and all the rest of it. It's just it's
also interchangeable and generic. I mean,
it is. That's
espionage, having and gunshots and bombs and whatever.
Yeah, I have a fondness for it though. The globe-trotting, sort of vaguely government-connected.
It's always some older man, or a cute young girl in a control room talking to the rogue agent, like. No one's supposed to, I'm on a secure line, so they don't know I'm talking to you. Whatever. It's like, how many tropes are in these dumb movies? You know?
We've got a traitor in the organization. Who could it be? And someone double-crossed us at the meeting. It's gone wrong. Agent 35 is dead.
Dude, that's why I liked Black Bag a lot, because it was more realistic. Because, I think one bomb goes off and one bullet goes off at the end of the movie, but most of it is just a woman, women, someone clenching their sphincters so they can beat lie detector contests, tests and stuff. So I mean,
does that work?
Apparently, there's a really great scene where Michael Fassbender is giving this cute chick a lie detector test, and she's acing it. It's revealed that would you please stop clenching your sphincters so you can get more accurate readings, please?
Talking of lie detector tests, I just saw the hot girl from Ghostbusters who's Bill Murray is faking her results at the beginning of the first Ghostbusters movie. Jennifer Runyon. She passed away. She was not a big star, so a bit part actress, but she did a few good things. But yeah, I just saw that. That was the sort of role that, probably because that was the film that she did that most people had seen. So she was kind of known as the Ghostbusters girl.
To think of what movie. Oh, it was American History X, where the dad's what? The dad's talking to the mom what? I read. He's like, honey, I don't think Tom Clancy novels count.
I remember that.
That's.
It's better than what a lot of women read. I'll just say.
His books are good, man. His books are good.
I'm sure his writing is ace, and the thing is how realistic is this crap? I'm gonna guess not very.
Well, I mean, we'll have to get the Toxic report on how realistic all the military side of it is. Great to see some chat going on in the channel here. Darth Plato says, I love London is Fallen. It's a documentary, isn't it?
He says loathe, not love.
It.
Oh, did I misread that? Sorry, that
don't put words in
did
his
that
mouth
on purpose.
Ron Smith, good to see you again, buddy. Welcome back. I'm pretty sure you've been in the chat before. Again, if you're new to the channel or you don't normally comment, do put comments in the chat. If I haven't seen you here before, I will certainly read them out. David Macy, funnily enough, just talking about you today. To another film producer, but no joy, mate. Sorry to report. I'm just trying to shift a script for him. But good to see we've got 22 people watching. Nice. This is one of those films. It's like, you know what? If I went to the multiplex on a whim, something that I never do, because of course we all check to see what's on. But you remember those days when you used to go past it and you look at the times on the sign? This will be one of those films. It's like, if it's the one on that I haven't seen, I'd go and see it. But I won't be going out of my way to see the new Jack Ryan movie. I'm also guessing as well that this has got a lot of characters from the TV show. So obviously you're appealing to that audience, but it is. I wonder to what degree this is a self-contained film that someone can go and see, and having seen none of the other John Krasinski stuff, or whether, actually it ties into a whole load of things there. So it's a bit like Marvel. You've got to have seen this and you've got to have seen that. I think that'll be to its disadvantage because you're just narrowing the audience.
Do you think
that's
Krasinski
right, though.
will be a draw? Because he's got a number of fans. He's seen as like kind of a nice guy actor, and he's very popular after The Office.
Yeah, I have heard on the street he's quite a pleasant guy to work with.
And he's married to Emily Blunt, who's like one of the most beautiful women. So
he's married to Emily Blunt, famous for saying "fucking nailed it" after each of her takes, and she's happy. Yeah,
I think Krasinski, whatever his name is. I mean, it's not that genuine because, like, isn't he writing and producing the movie? And he's obviously trying to pivot into action guy, which I just don't buy it. He looks too much like a Disney Pixar character, and I don't know if like men and women, probably chicks like him more than dudes, to go watch movies with him in it.
But Jack Ryan is playing the character of Ryan faithful to the book in the sense that Ryan wasn't supposed to be an active field agent. He sort of fell into the action side of being an agent accidentally. So he's cast correctly in that sense. As opposed to
Paul
Alan
Smith said it
Richmond.
best. I think a big problem I have with these movies is they always portray the CIA as good guys. Like, come on, dude. That's why. What did I love? I love Sicario because the fucking CIA, they're up to no good. Battling the cartels. That stuff was great.
Another great Emily Blunt performance.
Yeah.
I like 13 Hours. He's great in 13 Hours.
He got buff. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like I don't really give a shit. Like dudes getting buff. What was it? The Indian guy from Silicon Valley got jacked. Chris Pratt did it. Like once Chris Pratt got all jacked, it's like, oh, okay, I see. They just pay these guys millions of dollars to go on these strict diets and inject them with all this testosterone and steroids, and because it's not like athletes. Like athletes get tested. Actors, who gives a shit? Just start injecting them with all kinds of beef hormones or whatever. Just make them huge. We got to do it in 4 months. Damn it, hurry.
I'm certain that's what they do. And they do
absolutely.
have pretty intense, like twice a day training regimens. And then it is also, I'm going to pay you several $1 million. You have to eat unsalted chicken breasts for the next like 5 months. Sorry. And broccoli.
4 times a day. I'd do it. I'd get all jacked. It'd be hilarious if I was all ripped. That'd be so funny.
Yeah, pay me that much and I'll get in superhero shape. Please,
I'll
thank you.
Some stupid superhero to get all ripped. That's the new diet. Get cast in a Marvel movie. The new ultimate sculpting method.
Well, they got what's his name, the eyebrows kid. He was in the Maze Runner movies.
There's definitely steroids involved. There's definitely.
But yeah, they
involved.
cast him in. Oh my gosh, now I'm completely blanking. One of the Marvel films I've already completely forgotten. And he got really jacked and everyone's like, wow, it's the golden touch of Marvel. And I'm like, yeah, they golden touch you with some money and assign a trainer to you and you can be jacked as well.
Won't they get heart problems? Probably.
Probably.
But that's the thing is like they have like doctors and physicians like giving them steroids and testosterone allegedly. So, I'm sure there's like safe ways. Also, you're getting top of the line stuff. You're not getting this like, it's not like they're injecting synthol in their muscles in Mexico or whatever.
But all of that, and you still got to dehydrate substantially, like starting 4 days before any shirtless scene. And so, of course, they plan all of the training to do like any time when your physique has to be seen on screen. They plan all of those first and front load them. And then you're allowed to like eat a little bit more different kinds of foods when you need more stamina for like more active scenes.
Plus
it sounds awful.
You get the heart problems and health problems later in life when you're old. Who gives a shit?
But Krasinski is approaching 50.
Right. And plus, a lot of these
guys. Dark 30 is underrated. That's not an underrated movie, man.
Didn't it win Best? Oh, it didn't win Best Picture.
It was nominated for quite a few things. Yeah, it was a really good movie. I watched that movie at least once a year. I also do really like 13 Hours, which is the director of 13 Hours, who did the Transformer movies. What's his name? He's so restrained in this when he did 13 Hours. Whereas, with the Transformer movies, the action sequences, you can't tell what the fuck's going on. You don't really know who's been shot. They lose all sense of jeopardy. 13 Hours, great film, underrated movie. But the 0 Dark 30, man, that's a proper rated movie. All right, shall we move on to the Oscars?
Sure.
If we must. I mean, Enzo did a 17-hour stream about it already.
I was happy with the Oscars, except for cinematography and Best Actor.
Now
those two.
Let's go through them in order of the Hollywood Reporter, and then we'll cover any that they didn't cover at the end. This is the full list of the winners, so we'll just scroll down here. Okay, so Best Picture was One Battle After Another. And, I mean, I would have been fine if Sinners had won. I hadn't seen Train Dreams.
No.
I haven't seen Sentimental Value. All right, hold on. I have seen The Secret Agent. I thought it was good, but, I watched Marty Supreme. I've watched Hamnet. Okay, so controversial. Hamnet. I
agree with whatever you're about to say.
It's like fucking having teeth pulled out of my mouth for 2 hours. I really wasn't impressed. Marty Supreme is kind of like a sort of fun niche indie
the soundtrack.
Movie.
But that's about it.
It wasn't a movie that I felt like, wow, this is definitely an Oscar contender.
I liked Marty Supreme. I thought Chalamet put in a great performance.
I liked it. I liked Chalamet in it. I just didn't think it was an Oscar film.
Chalamet will get his chance later.
Oh, they're thin on the ground this last year, I suppose.
Well,
films that in more abundant bumper years might not have ever been considered are making the list because there's just
this is the 10 nominee bullshit.
Ones.
Ever since we switched to 10 nominees for Best Picture, and because we did that, like I said this recently, where we're never getting. It's so rare. It used to happen like once in a blue moon, where you would get a movie that was nominated for Best Director that wasn't nominated for Best Picture. And that will never happen again because of the 10 nominee system that it was implemented in 2009 with the Avatar movie, just so Avatar could get nominated. But yeah, Sinners, like I said, there was two roads where, you have the road to where things are getting better and we're actually awarding the better movies. One battle after another. I'm sorry, it was the best movie of the year. If you think it was woke, communist, Antifa propaganda, you're a moron. Plain and simple. You're a fucking idiot. It's for mouth breathers to say that. The movie was about extreme politics make you a hypocrite. And it was funny. It was a comedy.
I liked it.
People are saying generic Oscar bait. What are you fucking... There was nothing generic about that movie whatsoever. Highly memorable, highly well filmed. And that was the other thing. And then there's the other path where we're going, people are saying like, oh, woke is still a thing because one battle after another won. It's like woke would still be a thing if Sinners had won. You understand the white guilt award.
The two contenders, really.
Right. Yeah,
right.
I would have been sad. Listen, I would have been happy if Sinners had won. I would have been happy if F1 had won. I really enjoyed F1.
I did too, but I don't think it was going to, in terms of votes, beat either Sinners.
We're not going to give Apple the Best Picture award. All right, get out of here.
All right, so P.T. Anderson, who incidentally has directed two of my favorite films of all time, which are Boogie Nights.
Deserved it.
Boogie Nights and Magnolia. Magnolia is such a different film if you see it in the cinema. And I loved Magnolia. I still think it's Tom Cruise's best performance of his career. One battle after another. I mean, he is an amazing director. He's won Best Director before, hasn't he? I think he has.
No,
I think so.
No, this is his first Oscar. He's been nominated a bunch of times.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay, I thought he got it before for something else, but okay.
Did he win for There Will Be Blood? There's no way. I don't think There Will Be Blood won.
He didn't direct There Will Be Blood, did he?
Yes, absolutely. That was like his. That was like the time that he was like, I think, closest, but he got.
Why am I thinking that There Will Be Blood was directed by somebody? I don't know why I'm thinking that.
No Country was the Coen brothers, and that just edged it out. Those movies were kind of neck and neck this year.
Paul Thomas Anderson has received at this point 3 Academy Awards, and then a whole bunch of others, and he's gotten 14 nominations. So
But this is
he's
his
been
first
recognized.
direction award. This is his first direction
That's
award.
true. He's had
Okay.
like best
He won
original
for
screenplay, best adapted screenplay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So, I mean, of his films, I've seen all of them except for The Phantom Thread.
That one's great.
I mean, I've heard it's great. I just haven't. It's one of them films I wanted
Underrated.
to be in the mood to watch it. I missed it at the cinema. There was a lot going on in the year 2017, and I missed a lot of movies that year. And you know, that was the year my own film project was on the brink of disaster, and I was trying to save my film rather than going to the cinema. But yeah, I've seen everything else he's done. I still like Magnolia the best. The only film of his that I've watched that I didn't like was The Master, because in The Master, even though the acting in that film is phenomenal, I just didn't care about anybody in it. And that's a problem.
Again. You gotta watch it again. I felt Inherent Vice. Inherent Vice. I was like, that's okay. And then I watched it again, and I'm like, no, there's definitely something here. This movie too. Like every time I watched One Battle, it got better. Every time I watched Sinners, it got worse.
Right.
In fact, yeah, and you know, like I said before, when it first came out, I was like, this movie's Commando meets The Big Lebowski, and I loved it, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it is Commando meets The Big Lebowski. That's true.
This movie's not about Antifa. This movie actually makes fun of Antifa. It lambasts and lampoons Antifa quite to a degree, because like Leonardo DiCaprio's character is a revolutionary from 20 years ago. What was happening 20 years ago? Obama. The real revolution, hope, you know, like we're going to change the system. And Obama was just a bunch of bullshit. So 20 years later, it's like failed.
Was Obama 20 years ago?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God, really?
Oh my God, you're right. Sorry,
Anna,
go on.
Anna, it's been confirmed. You're now old.
You're just a Gen Z.
Welcome to the
Gen Z 20-year-old who's almost 40. You know, that's how it works. Right? Everybody.
Yeah, you can now officially feel old.
But the thing about it was 20 years later, you know, the revolution failed. And Leo, every time Leo interacts with these modern, specifically the guy on the phone, the modern revolutionaries, what does he do? He's just fucking fed up with them. And now every time we see these modern, I guess, quote unquote revolutionaries, what are they doing? They're constantly getting caught, getting arrested. They're totally morons. They're quickly apprehended, and they immediately rat on everybody. Perfidia Beverly Hills. Oh, I didn't like that character. She was unlikable. She's supposed to be. She's totally, she's an egotistical, it's hysterics. It's hysteria where it's like all eyes on me. Like I must be the center of attention. She wants to do a revolution out of boredom. You know, she wants to do a revolution as like some kind of, for her own narcissistic needs. And she's a terrible mother. She's a terrible wife. She's a hypocrite. She's a terrible person, sleeping with the enemy, you know? And that's the thing. The letter at the end is her admitting all that stuff. And that's why that letter at the end that she gives her daughter, who is looking red hot, by the way, at the red carpet. I didn't realize how hot Chase Infinity was. But she's a giant hypocrite, her mother, Perfidia Beverly Hills. And same thing with Colonel Lockjaw. He is also a huge, glaring hypocrite. They're all hypocrites. I mean, that's the point of the movie. And it was done in this very nuanced, open way. This is how you do a political, quote-unquote, woke movie correctly, you know? It's entertaining. Yeah. It was fucking entertaining. The car chase scene alone was why it should have been cinematography.
I love that
but also just all this natural blocking that was done so effortlessly. I rewatched Sinners, and I was talking about it on my Oscar stream, where you realize the cinematography is quite bad. They used nice cameras, but I hated how they switched from the super widescreen format to the tall IMAX format, back and forth, and he doesn't properly use the frame. Constantly, it's a super wide frame, and the main subject is like right in the middle, and all the stuff on the left and right is just blank or empty nonsense.
Well, we're coming on to the DOP award in a bit, so you can circle back round to that in a sec. Okay, do we want to say anything else about Best Director here? I think we covered it, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of Cope saying, "Oh well, One Battle did deserve it, but Paul Thomas did, so they gave it to him, you know, kind of because it was his turn to get it." It's like, yeah, maybe. But sounds like cope. Sounds like coping.
It's a worthy film, without a doubt.
Yeah, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people like, I hated this movie. It was woke garbage. I fucking turned it off halfway through. Like, kill yourself if that's you. I'm serious. I'm serious. I hate you if that's you. I hate you as a person if that is you. Okay? I'm tired of this shit. Tired of these
we don't actually hate
dishonest.
you. Don't leave the stream, even if you disagree. We welcome everyone here. We love perspectives.
All right, let's move on to Best Actor. So
watch the whole movie and get back to me.
Looking at the choices, Timothée Chalamet, good performance, but I didn't think he had a chance of winning. DiCaprio, good performance, but nothing I hadn't seen him do before, in my opinion. I agree with Enzo. Ethan Hawke's performance in Blue Moon, which is also an overlooked film generally, was outstanding, and absolutely, I would have been very happy if he'd won.
Yeah.
Wagner Moore in The Secret Agent, great performance.
I was disappointed that The Secret Agent didn't take any awards. I haven't seen it yet, but it's on my list. It's fantastic.
It's not great. It's not.
Is it?
Right.
Well, it's fantastic that a Brazilian film has made it here.
I think it's a good film. Whether it's a great film, I mean, it's a good film that's made great by Wagner Moura's performance.
I like Wagner Moura, and I speak Portuguese, and I lived in Brazil, and I've seen the leftovers of the military dictatorship, and so I'm interested in the themes of the film.
It's no City of God. City of God. When we talk about
City of God is wow. Yeah.
And like, and also, it's the first time a Brazilian movie is being honored. It's wasn't City of God nominated? It was nominated for best international film for sure.
Yeah, right? City of God was nominated, and it was an outstanding movie. And
I love City of God, man.
Oh my god, I remember when I showed that film to my ex-partner, I suddenly remembered I had it in my collection, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, City of God, you've never seen this,
soundtrack too. I love that soundtrack. I have it. It's
incredible. Incredible movie.
But yeah, as far as best actor, like that's another thing. If we're gonna talk about how it was Paul Thomas Anderson's turn to get an Oscar. Well, it was Ethan Hawke's turn to get an Oscar, and he deserved it by far. If you didn't think Ethan Hawke deserved the Oscar this year, you didn't see the movie. Anybody who saw that movie is like, this motherfucker acted his ass off. Okay.
Do you think the people placing the votes have seen the movies though? Really?
Well, yeah, I mean, that is a criticism that even the judges don't watch these movies.
Well, actually, they had a system in place.
Yeah, they changed that, I think, right?
Yeah, with the because everything was sent out electronically, so they could also they could actually check to see how much of each film you'd actually watch. Now, that's not to say that they didn't just press play and then go out to the golf course or whatever, or let the maid from the house, hey, do you want to watch a movie? Here it is. That's not to say that, the only way to know would be literally to send them a video in of them live streaming them watching it. But that is a more rigid system than they had before. So it would at least suggest that there was an attempt made by everyone that voted in every category to ensure they had seen all the nominees. I like Michael B. Jordan as an actor. I think he was the lead in Fruitvale Station. Was that? Did any of you guys see
Fruitvale Bart, wasn't it?
Is it Fruit? I thought
Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station.
Fruitvale Station. Yeah. True story.
Oh yeah. Sorry, you're right. That is the name of this film.
Incredible.
I lived a few stops down from that station at one point, so it's just Fruitvale Bart. It's
an incredible movie told from multiple perspectives. True story about how a completely innocent black man unfortunately was shot by a policeman in training. I thought the film was extremely well done in the context that it didn't paint the police officer as a black and white villain. So you had the perspectives from all sides. I just really liked it as a film, and I remember
it had a good soundtrack. I thought,
Ludwig
Göransson and everything he does.
Right. When I saw that film, I remember turning to the friend of mine I watched it with, and I said, he's going to win an Oscar for Best Actor one day. And boom, there we are. So, you can argue about, who should have got it. I mean, it's certainly worthy.
I'm not going to say Michael B. Jordan doesn't deserve an Oscar or he's a bad actor or anything. And Sinners, the idea, is this the first time is he... Do they tell you for what role you're getting the award for? Like, is he getting the award for both characters, the Smokestack twins? Because that's kind of rare, right? Like if you were cast in 2 roles in 2 movies, it's possible that 1 role would get nominated. Is that how it works? Or does the actor get nominated for both roles by default? I don't think so, right?
I'm afraid,
I think it would be for both roles.
That knowledge is beyond me. So
it's interesting. It's interesting to think about. But yeah, I'm not gonna be like, unlike DOP, which I thought did not have good. That was not good direction. It was not good direction in Sinners. Michael B. Jordan is a fine actor in this. And Leo's fine too, but he already got his Oscar for Revenant. So, and Timothée Chalamet, he's good, but he's too young. He'll get his chance later. He'll get his chance later. That's how they think when we talk about politics. Wagner Moura, sure, but it's like it's a Brazilian flick. Sorry. I mean, it's a foreign film. American audiences don't know how foreigners emote, apparently. But like I said, if you watched Blue Moon, you would be outraged on Ethan's behalf, especially knowing that the movie took they waited 15 years to make the movie just so Ethan Hawke could be, or it's 20 years. They waited 20 years to make the movie just so Ethan Hawke could be properly the same age.
Yeah,
Come on, dude.
I wish he got more commendation for that role. It's also, unfortunately, it's a film that over here, literally no one has seen. But hey, okay, so Best Actress, Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. Now, she is an actress I do really admire, do really like her. I'm afraid to comment here because I of all the 5 nominees, I'm a massive Kate Hudson fan, incidentally. The only other person I have seen, apart from Jessie Buckley, is Emma Stone in Begonia. I haven't seen If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You. I haven't seen Song Sung the Blue. I haven't seen Sentimental Value.
I saw If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, which is basically a female version of Eraserhead, by the way, which is pretty neat.
Wow.
It's a weird movie, and Rose Byrne is good in it, but yeah, it's a little too weird. She's pretty much just anxious the whole movie. Sentimental Value, I tried to watch, never finished it. I'm sure, and I think it's a bilingual role, which is always impressive.
That's Norwegian English, right?
I think so. And Sung Blue, I didn't watch that. Kate Hudson, good for her, but that movie looked hokey. I'm sorry. Emma Stone, how many Oscars has she won already? She's the youngest woman to win this many Oscars or whatever, especially if she had won this one. She's definitely the youngest to be nominated a certain number of times, I think, Emma Stone. So I think everyone knew, this was a 99% bet that Jessie Buckley was going to win this one. In fact, it's the one redeeming quality of Hamnet is her performance, or not the one, but the main redeeming quality of that movie. So good on her. But then she did The Bride, which I watched, and that was so awful. And I kind of wish she didn't win now because of that movie. It's so bad.
And I haven't seen Hamnet, but Lance, you said it wasn't your favorite.
No, not really. I mean, I just, as a film, it's just it was just a drag.
It's a sad movie that you could totally fall asleep to. It's one of those, and it's not. People comparing it to Shakespeare in Love. Shakespeare in Love was actually kind of heartwarming and fun, and I didn't watch it until like years after it had won. And yeah, obviously I don't think it should have won, but it was still a decent flick. It's better than this one, I would say.
All right, well, congrats to her. I mean, now let me comment on this first. For me, in One Battle After Another, it was the narrative of Sean Penn's character that kept me engaged in the film. His character was the most interesting. He had the biggest arc. I felt terrible for him at the end. Watching him was just a pure joy. So I was actually really chuffed that he won. I know he didn't turn up. I think it's his 3rd win because he won for Milk, didn't he? He got Best Actor for Milk, I think. And yes. I think Best Supporting Actor before, maybe. But I've followed Penn's career ever since I saw him At Close Range with Christopher Walken, which is a film that still a lot of people haven't seen, and that's also one of Penn's best performances. and it's such a good. I don't think that was the first thing I saw him in. I saw him in Bad Boys before that. No relation to the Will Smith flick about a young offender's prison, which was almost like a play, but that was also a fantastic.
Terrence
movie.
Malick, right? Terrence Malick did Bad Boys, right?
I think so. Yeah, it was really good. Really, like a young Clancy Brown was in that as the kind of the bully, and they put they built this nerdy kid that was sharing a cell with Sean Penn's character, built like a bomb in a stereo that exploded next to his ear when he picked it up and was listening to it. We should do a retro review on that sometime. But so I've always followed Penn, and I don't. I know some people dislike Penn for his politics and whatever. I don't care. I'm never interested in.
Yeah,
that's not why I watch a film.
I hate his politics. I think he's annoying as hell. But
and that's fine. Yeah, you can disagree with the guy and admire him as an actor. In my view,
I loved his role too. And his role is like a caricature. It's an exaggeration, dude. This movie's a comedy, for crying out loud. It's not real. You think the actual Santa, what are they called? The Santa's helpers or whatever? They say Hail Santa to each other or whatever, the holiday.
Yeah.
What are they called? The group. But yes, it's a very weird movie. But Penn, remember the Joker in the Dark Knight? How he fucking steals the movie, he steals the whole show? That was Sean Penn in this movie. He's great.
Yeah,
so
he does. He steals the movie.
I love the part where he's going to visit Perfidia Jones, his love, because he's got the jungle fever or whatever, because he's a giant hypocrite. And he goes and he knocks on the door for her house, and she doesn't answer, and he immediately goes into his car, which is still running, and he opens the passenger door, he pulls out a battering ram, and just kicks the door in. He's hilarious. And Benicio del Toro is also fantastic in the movie. He steals every scene he's in, but he doesn't steal the whole movie.
I didn't feel like we saw him do anything I haven't seen him do in another film.
Yeah, his character was really cool, though. That's the thing.
He had a cool character.
So awesome. The sensei. What does he say? I love that quote. That's one of my favorite quotes of recent memory, where he says, "You know what?" But
I would say that Penn outacted him by far.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved how
he had the more complex
he had these
role.
he had these weird mannerisms where his jaw, he's called lockjaw, and he would do this like this grinding of his teeth, and he was all veiny and muscular and weird. And he had this bald, strange haircut. He was just a weird little gremlin,
I was rooting for him to win, and I was really glad that he did. Anna, anything to add?
I never saw One Battle After Another. I'm really sorry. I can't add to it.
Yeah, well, I recommend it, obviously. But I say
I saw any horses in it? I can't remember if there were any horses in One Battle After Another.
I watch movies that have not horses in them.
Yeah, but you also watch mostly films with horses.
That's not true at all. I think most of the movies I watch don't have horses.
Well, what the other thing
not
was
that kind of horse girl.
No,
I saw a lot of younger dudes saying, Marty Supreme, dude, it was the best role, and it's like, yeah, he's good, but like I said, he wasn't that good. And then a lot of cope about not just Delroy Lindo, but Sinners in general. That was the other thing. Is Sinners won about a few awards. It was lucky it got some of the ones it did. But people were pissed off it didn't sweep. And Delroy Lindo, I love Delroy Lindo, but he is nowhere near on the same level of scene stealing as Sean Penn was.
No, I like Delroy Lindo, and maybe his time will still come. Let's move on. Amy Madigan. Now, this is another one. I have to say, I was really chuffed because, again, I've followed her career since Streets of Fire. I've also seen her on stage with her husband Ed Harris. I like her.
She's married to Ed Harris.
She's married to Ed Harris. I like her.
He gave her the best. He gave her the best look when she won. He gave her this look you see, I told you. I told you. That was the look he gave her.
Yeah, he did. I like her as a person. I just, you see her talk, and she's kind of very grounded and just sort of, nonchalant about the business in the best kind of way. Wumi Masako is a British actress. I'm a huge fan of hers. But Amy Madigan's over the top performance in Weapons is really the fuel of that movie.
It's amazing.
That movie doesn't work.
I loved her as Gladys.
We had two
perfect
Joker-worthy. like 2 Joker-worthy performances where you get the award because you were this crazy over-the-top villain that was not in a lot of the movie, and yet you stole the whole show. Whatever scene you're in, you're just the entire audience is like total commanding performance. You're riveting. It was amazing.
Well, she had to be the linchpin because, without spoiling Weapons, because if people haven't seen it in chat, they absolutely should. You go about half the movie with the non-linear structure not giving you a good idea of what exactly is going on. And then at the point that Amy Madigan's character appears, you start pretty quickly to recontextualize everything and go, oh, here's everything that's going on. This is what's happening in the story. How's it going to resolve? But you need a character to do a really strong and out there performance to handle being suddenly the linchpin of the entire movie that the rest of the story revolves around. And she nails it.
Yeah, and it's pretty rare, Plato, that horror movies get like Best Picture definitely, but acting Oscars too. I mean, you got Hannibal Lecter, Silence of the Lambs, which the only horror movie to win Best Picture, I think, right? To this day. Unless there was something recent I'm forgetting.
Yeah, and I mean, you could debate whether, which genre it most falls into. I mean, it's quite easy to argue that it's a horror film. It's also easy to argue it's actually a psychological thriller that just happens to be gory.
True. Wasn't Jaws nominated for Best Picture? I mean, that's also arguably a horror movie. Exorcist, definitely a horror movie nominated. Sixth Sense, definitely a horror movie nominated.
Mm-hmm.
And Haley Joel Osment was nominated. Did he win? Haley Joel Osment won, right?
I'm not sure. Did he?
Wasn't he like the youngest to ever win one or something, or tied with the piano? Was that him, or was he just nominated? I thought he won.
He might have won. I'd have to look that up. Let me have a quick Michael Google and I'll check. But
yeah. But as far as other horror movies I'm thinking of, I don't know if Hereditary got all the accolades it deserved. But yeah, Zach Krager's doing Resident Evil now. Yeah, that's true. Amy Madigan, Tiana Taylor, Perfidia Beverly Hills. She's quite a character. It's a very strange role.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're like, it's a very strange character. She's supposed to be this ghetto booty black woman with all this plastic surgery and shit. Like, that's the role.
Haley Joel Osment, by the way, was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, but he did not
win. Okay, no. That sounds correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, let alone like Best Director nominations and stuff. Like, yeah, horror movies, horror and sci-fi, man, they get snubbed a lot. Dune, I would say, yeah. Dune got hardly, usually sci-fi movies get nominated for Best Special Effects, and that's it. Best Sound, shit like that.
Best costumes sometimes, yeah.
Sets, designs, and shit. All the technical stuff. But yeah, the Academy, snobbery afoot. But yeah, Amy Madigan totally deserved it. I thought.
Yeah,
I was happy.
Yeah.
I saw
I was really happy for that.
I saw a lot of people saying this was the only award they were happy with that night. Because, like I said, there was a lot of cope about Sinners not winning enough and One Battle winning too much.
Okay, Best Adapted Screenplay, One Battle After Another. Now, was it adapted from what?
Vineland.
Was there a book?
Yeah, and just like how There Will Be Blood is very radically adapted from Oil, One Battle After Another is like, because Vineland is a 60s book, no, a 70s book about 60s revolutionaries, or is it 80s book about 70s revolutionaries? Yeah. And then the idea of like recontextualizing it for modern day. He said he only took the bare elements, but that's the thing is like,
but that's an adaptation, isn't it? And sometimes it's a good one, and sometimes it's not.
But There Will Be Blood is the same way, where it's like, does he even need to credit it as an adaptation? You could just say it's original enough, but no, it's an adaptation. And I assume because the character's name is Daniel Plainview and other things like that, the characters' names maybe are the same. But Inherent Vice is another one he adapted, and that one I think he's pretty faithful to. But yeah, I don't know. And they didn't nominate. Wait. They didn't nominate Sinners for Best Director. Okay, that's another problem with the 10 nominee system, is now we're getting movies nominated for Best Picture that aren't nominated for Best Director. Like, that's even weirder than the opposite of what I said earlier. Like, come on, dude.
Sinners already had a record number of nominations, though. I think.
Right.
With the vote system and everything, I still think there is a hand of God that comes in and decides, oh, we can't have too many of the same film in too many different categories. I think maybe there's probably a way that whatever the results of the voting are can always be slightly overturned to make things more equitable.
What would your vote have been for Best Original Screenplay, Enzo?
Wait, go back up. We're not done with what the director.
I thought we covered this.
Best adapted screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else to say on that? Thought we got.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, we're good on that, right? Yeah. Okay. So Best Original Screenplay.
Well, Sinners. It's not even again just like how Paul Thomas Anderson adapting Vineland into One Battle After Another. You can say Sinners was Rub Does Till Dawn, adapted in the Southern Black. It's the same shit. It's hardly original. And also the screenplay is I don't know. When my vote would have been for Blue Moon, honestly, here. Because
I definitely would have been okay with Blue Moon winning.
The dialogue was like pure prose, man. It was like, and it's one of those play. It's one of those play movies, It's like a play. It's all actor driven. It's all one setting, and it's a lot of dialogue. Big long there's it's like 6 or 7 scenes or big set piece scenes that take place in this setting, and each one is like 20-30 minutes long or something like that. And yeah, it was very good. It was old fashioned and just had some great dialogue that just really tugged at the heartstrings. The actual dialogue.
I'll be lucky if I ever win an Oscar. Do you know what? I had that. That was a massive goal for me when I was.
What if he just gets nominated for crying out? No, not even then. No, still nothing.
Well, and let me just finish the story quickly. So the whole reason I wanted to win an Oscar was so I could dedicate it to this actress who was on my she was on my first feature film. She passed away very young. She was like 21. She was working in Gran Canaria as a holiday rep. Her name was Rebecca Holland. And when I went to her graveside, because I missed the funeral, it was up in Nottingham. I was in London at the time. I thought, you kind of speak to these people as you do. And one of the promises I made was, right, if I ever win an Oscar or a BAFTA, I'm going to hold up a photograph of you and dedicate the award to you. So then people will look up to see who you were, so you won't be forgotten. I actually said that out loud. And that's kind of when you're young and you're idealistic. These things are you sort of make these promises, And then, of course, once I got in the industry and realised how kind of backstabby and toxic it can be, and sort of the roads that lead to these places are often fraught with the paves of good intentions, but lots of pits and all the rest of it. And then, of course, I had my own bad experiences of that and getting double crossed in a film going tits up that destroyed a lot of my life and everything. The possibility of that just kind of left my aspirations a long time ago. I would just be quite happy to just be making a career at making movies and getting paid for that and just being able to afford to pay the bills. And at the minute, I'm not even doing that. I am being creative, but I'm directing is my first love, and when I get to direct, it's a short film or a play at the moment. A feature film currently is well, there might be something bubbling away, but it won't be. Next time I do a feature film, I won't be thinking, oh, I hope I win an Oscar for this. I will be thinking, I hope the audience that I'm making this for really enjoy this film, and that'll be the number one thing for me that I'll be concerned about. Yeah, good. It would be great if the stunt category. I agree. There should be a best stunt category. Absolutely agree. 100% on that. I know the stunts have got their own awards, but yeah, I can't comment on sentimental value. Haven't seen it. I haven't seen It Was Just an Accident. Mighty Supreme's kind of cool, but Blue Moon, I agree. I'm okay with Sinners winning. I don't have and he was, quite. I liked his speech, and he was quite humble. Anyone want to add anything else about best original screenplay before we move along? Anyone? No. No. Okay. Best animated feature. I have to say, I was very happy with this.
Yes. I saw Arco and I liked it, but I saw Arco because I felt like that was going to be the big competition for K-pop, and it was, but it wasn't as good as K-pop. I'm sorry. K-pop pierced the zeitgeist. It's a big deal. Kids like it. I liked it. It's not for I liked it.
I liked it too, and I was surprised that I liked it, but I did like it. Yeah.
We all reluctantly liked it.
I did see it. Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah. I liked it as well. I've only seen it the once. I think it's the age 9 to 15 demographic. Well, a lot of young women as well but I know kids loved it and would have it on repeat. And I think as animated films go that you'd have on repeat, that's not a bad one to pick. So I'm not surprised at all. I like that its rise in popularity was somewhat organic, and that it dropped on Netflix, and the word of mouth just grew and grew and grew and grew until it was absolutely massive, 5 weeks later. And then people who would never have given it a chance before, this is the craziest sounding title, but everyone's raving about this film. Got to pick it up. And it's rare to see a film gain steam like that.
What the hell? The title definitely perked a lot of people's interest. And I'll talk about the music later, but as far as the animated, the movie itself, it's, like I said, it's for little kids, but I remember just being blown away by so much in it, animation wise, or at least design wise. I loved the big ghost cat thing. I loved
the songs were good. The songs were good in it as well.
We'll talk about the music later, but the music didn't annoy the hell out of me like every Lin-Manuel Miranda song. How I hate that music. These music was, not annoying or grating. The music was okay, and then specifically all the visual gags, the Looney Tunes style visual gags that they implement throughout the whole movie was amazing. And specifically, my favorite scene is when they first see the hunky guys in that alley. And it's first heart eyes popping out of their eyes, big hearts popping out of their eyeballs. And then the dude's six-pack abs are clenched in his shirt. And then big corn cobs pop out of their eyeballs, mimicking the abs. And then they're doing some other hunky shit. And now the popcorn is literally flying out of their eyeballs, into a bowl. And they're eating the popcorn that's coming out of their eyes. That kind of crap. Mwah, Tex Avery would be proud. You know what I mean? It was very good. But as far as Arco, Arco did win me over at the end. Zootopia 2. Didn't Zootopia 1 win? Sequels, come on. I didn't watch Little Amelie. That might be good, but that's Chinese, isn't it?
I haven't seen it. I've only seen on this list, to my shame, I've only seen K-pop, Zootopia 2, which I'm not a fan of that universe. And I've seen a bit of Arco, but not the whole thing. So yeah,
good job, K-pop, and I bet you Sony Animation, whoever was supposed to make K-pop Demon Hunters and handed it off to Netflix instead, they're probably kicking themselves really hard right now, as usual.
Yeah. Anna, thoughts? Anything to add before we
Not really. I think K-pop Demon Hunters would be the clear winner out of that group. It sounds like Arco's competitive. I've not seen it, and probably a lot of people haven't. I'd like to see it, but of the other three, there's no way Zootopia 2 was going to get anything, even though it's been massively financially successful. But yeah, I like that K-pop Demon Hunters was also something original. And if you go to con circuits, that was the hot costume last year. Everywhere you went, it was that all over the place. Everyone whipped theirs together in a few weeks for months. So amazing job drumming up popular interest just organically.
Well, we'll just talk about Best International Feature briefly. Now, again, I've only seen The Secret Agent on this list, and that's bad for me because I'm the guy who watches all the international movies. You know, I'm the big subtitle guy. I don't like watching stuff dubbed. I'm also Scandinavian, so to my shame, I haven't seen Norway Sentimental Value. But that's why I have Anna, my Scandinavian cousin here, who definitely has seen it. Probably, have you? Probably, maybe.
I have seen Sentimental Value. I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic.
Excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
I watched the first half of it, and I liked it, but I didn't finish it, and I want to. But I know.
But you did not finish it because you weren't enjoying it. It was like
no.
Yeah, life happens when you're watching.
Yeah.
You're trying to watch stuff.
It's a foreign movie, and it's got subtitles, and I got to be paying attention. And it was one of those things where.
So you paused it. You're going to come back to it.
Well, I wouldn't come back to it. I would probably just rewatch the whole thing again. I don't picking up where I left off weeks later. That's stupid.
What's the brief plot without any spoilers, Anna, for Sentimental Value?
It would be like Stellan Skarsgård. And this, you'd really like this, especially Lance, because it's a movie about filmmaking and the film industry. So Stellan Skarsgård has been like a successful director and has been in the industry a long time, but he has kind of an estranged relationship with his two daughters, and one of his daughters is an actress, and he's been trying to get his daughter to come in on this film that he's directing so that they can do it together. And the film is kind of about their family life and about sort of, I guess the kids would call it generational trauma that's been passed down for a long time. And it kind of explores the flaws and weaknesses. I suppose you'd think that it would be Stellan Skarsgård as like a sort of an absent or not great father in the beginning, but it's a lot more nuanced and complex. And so it's a really good study of a family. At one point, he tries to bring in Elle Fanning to play his daughter's character instead, but she's just not able to nail it, although she really, really tries. And so it's a very meta film and really like a love letter to filmmaking and to how meaningful it is. I think you'd really like this, Lance.
That's why it was popular with the voters, clearly. Yeah, well, fair enough, and congratulations to them. Best documentary feature. Now, I haven't seen, to my shame, again, because I do like documentaries. The only one of these I've seen is The Perfect Neighbor, which is about the irate neighbor that suddenly shoots her neighbor for like over nothing, which is a shocking documentary. I haven't seen Mr. Nobody Against Putin, which won. Did anybody else?
I haven't seen any of these.
What was the category? There was a category this year when they read out. They said there was a draw, and two different people. No, it happened. I saw it live. Somebody walked up.
Jimmy Kimmel presented this one, I guess, because Putin or something, or but I don't think.
But none of us have seen Mr. Nobody Against Putin. If anybody in the chat's seen it, I'd like to know what you thought of it. I definitely will check it out because the story sounds interesting. True story of a teacher who was trying to sort of rally against the fictional narrative that's being taught in Russian classrooms. So I believe that's the story. Best animated short. These are always great films. And I've seen The Three Sisters. I've seen Retirement Plan. I've seen Butterfly. I've not seen The Girl Who Cried Pearls. But they're always great. So
I love that photo. I love how genuinely thrilled those two look to be up there. Like they're choking back tears.
Yeah. And I like the contrasting hairstyles between the two guys as well. It's sort of they've kind of got an Oliver and Laurel and Hardy thing going on because they're two totally different looking dudes, but well matched together somehow. Best casting. First time this happened. My casting director, Sharon Sorrentino, very happy to hear this. And also Catherine Arden-Still, who's
the first woman to win the award for best casting. Hello. Good job.
Yeah. Also, I mean, most casting directors are women, to be fair. It's women's, it's a female-dominated role in the industry. But yeah, One Battle After Another has got a tour de force of a cast, hasn't it?
My favorite word isn't even like the main players. I loved like the military guy who's like interrogating everybody. I loved all the military dudes, and like just everyone felt so real, like that.
Yeah.
You know, like all. Remember the lady? I love the lady in the when Leo gets arrested, and there's that great close up like camera A, camera B thing where the woman's like coaching him, like, "Sir, Mr. Fuentes," or whatever she says, like, you didn't take your you didn't take your insulin today, did you? Did you? And he's like, "No." He's like, "Okay, yeah, officer, this man needs to be escorted to a hospital. He needs to go to a paramedic." Like that. Yeah. She was great. Like she's only in that one scene.
Yeah.
What's her name? My name is Jungle Pussy. Jungle Pussy was awesome in that movie. She's in 2 scenes.
And she's. I think that's also that actress's first role. Was that? Am I right in thinking that?
Yeah, brother. Everyone felt real as
for
hell.
films like that, where I haven't seen one battle after another, but it sounds like the ridiculous elements, the comedy elements, have to be really grounded and balanced with the more grounded elements of the story. The work of a CSA really goes into that.
If there was an Oscar for best character name ever, I mean, Jungle Pussy's got to be up there for a nomination.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people are, taking this movie too seriously, and that's a big problem. I think this movie's hilarious.
So best casting, congratulations to Cassandra Koulakoukoundis. I'm guessing that might be a Greek name, but I'm not sure. Best cinematography. Now this was a bit controversial, certainly for Enzo, because he was not a fan of the photography in Sinners. Now I have to say, this is the one award where I thought it was a done deal. One battle after another had this in the bag.
Right.
Yeah, I liked. Look, I have to say, I liked Autumn. I thought she comes across as quite a fun.
I liked
character.
The photography. I hated the framing, the blocking. I hated that stuff. Yeah. Which maybe that's best. Maybe that's worst director. Maybe.
Well, that could be the editor as well that made those decisions. Don't forget, that could be the editor.
This is nothing to do with either the movie or with Autumn Arkapaw. Congratulations. But there was a very hilarious Deadline Hollywood headline that they put out too early where they were trying to congratulate this lady for being for basically being a diverse first of, and no one's exactly sure what they're congratulating her for, because Hollywood Deadline said she was the first woman of person to receive the best cinematography award, and so woman of person is getting pretty memed. I don't know what they were trying to say. I don't know why they don't have editors. That was just embarrassing.
So she's the first woman to win, period. Yeah, and she's the first woman of color, and she happens to be a woman of color.
So I think they meant to say the first woman of color, but they just wrote woman of person, and none of their editors saw it, and they put it up.
Oh, that's brilliant. I love that.
Yeah, and woman of person's hilarious. But that being said, like I'm kind of annoyed by the the first woman and woman of color. So she's got both firsts, And
I liked her speech. She asked all the women to stand up. I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh God. But I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, how many women have been nominated for best director of photography? Like 5, I think. None? No, I know it's happened.
Not many.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, like maybe 5 total. Like the whole.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, a handful.
There are a lot fewer women DPs than there are women CSAs. I'll just say.
Please say DOP for.
Sorry, DOPs.
Yeah, just kidding.
You can say DOP or DOP. Or man who handles camera.
All right.
No,
Cinemen.
But yeah, like that Hitchcockian car chase at the end of and you know what, I was criticizing Sinners because Sinners sucked because like every scene of dialogue would be person walks up to person A, walks up to person B, they stand there still not moving, and the camera's just cutting between their faces, maybe the angle's changing, but they never do any interesting like walking around or blocking or the camera moving, and the framing's always awful. I don't know. Like I said, it's not that this woman's the worst ever. It's just One Battle did it so much better. One Battle had some great, like it felt natural, like everything was like in frame, everything was lined up perfectly, and it felt like it was like a documentary and it was happening on accident. And it wasn't. It was all meticulously planned, It's all done on purpose, and that's why it was such good invisible directing,
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's move on. Best costume design. Now, it It would have been interesting if Avatar: Fire and Ash had won this, because that's CGI costumes.
I can speak to all of the costumes in all of these films, and lots of people are like, it's all CG, and I'll have not that I'm the biggest fan of the Avatar costumes, but I can understand why they were nominated for this, because they are all made physically by Weta Workshop, who did the Lord of the Rings, and a lot of the same people who worked with Richard Taylor and Nyla Dixon, although neither of them are working on this, but a lot of the same people who worked on the Rings costumes worked on this as well. So they make all of the costumes physically, and then they scan them on maquettes and render them as digital objects, but they all exist in the real world as actual costumes that you could actually technically put on someone with a lot of tape to hold things over the bits.
I'm glad you clarified that, because for me that's a valid nomination, and technically can also qualify as well.
This one, it was supposed to be Frankenstein. I'm glad it was Frankenstein. That was the one that was needed to win. Hamnet is a travesty that it's even up there, because the costumes and the costuming in Hamnet is awful.
I also felt the same way.
Nothing special at all. Nothing special.
They're really horrible from the point of view of historical costuming, and then they just look not great. And that's the thing. Like, Frankenstein is transgressive in some of its costuming. I love Kate Hawley and the work she did on Crimson Peak and a lot of other films as well. She knows the period really, really well. If you're doing period drama, that's what you've got to do. You have to know it super well and have the silhouettes down, and then that's when you can transgress and break all of the rules, which is what she does perfectly. Marty Supreme has really nice costumes as well, but I don't think it was ever going to beat out. And then Sinners as well has really nice costuming, it has to be said. But they're all, with the exception of Avatar, which is just fantasy, sci-fi, they're all period films, and that's, I don't know. I'd like to see more non-period films.
It's technically a period film. It's set in the future. It's a different period.
Speculative period.
He's got you there.
I'm happy with this one. I would have been perfectly fine with Sinners winning. I don't think the costumes in Marty Supreme are particularly outstanding, although they're perfectly fine. Hamnet,
they're wacky. I like them.
Yeah, they're wacky. They're wacky and fun.
Mia Goth's crazy outfits in this movie were like, okay, I see what they're going for. Like, it was, clearly that's why this movie won. This shit was insane. Sinners is like accurate, but it's like just dirty old clothes, and hats, and what was it?
Sinners is like, it looks good and it's all really accurate, but unlike Frankenstein, Sinners doesn't do much with the exploration of character and theme through the costumes, which Frankenstein does excellently.
Also, Frankenstein was like, work went into all, like, there was, more work went into designing these things, these costumes.
Sure. All right, let's move on. Best documentary short now. The one that won, All the Empty Rooms, I feel quite strongly about that whole topic. And a friend of mine made a great movie about school shootings, told from the perspective of the parents waiting outside. And it was called Blame. And they were waiting to see who was to blame. And, of course, one of the parents turned out to be the parent of the kid responsible, which was a great sort of dichotomy. It was a short film. It was a short film that I plugged on an older show that I did on YouTube back in the day, where I supported emerging filmmakers. So this topic was of real interest to me. I've watched All the Empty Rooms. It's fucking heartbreaking. So it's great. And I as soon as I heard it won, I kind of stuck it on. I haven't seen any of the others, so I can't comment on them. And feel strangely unprepared for our episode this evening on the numbers of films I haven't watched. Enzo, have you seen any of these?
Negative.
Okay, Anna?
Neither have I, except I will mention, isn't Gita Gandpir in The Devil is Busy, isn't she also in the main one who was working on The Perfect Neighbor?
She did work on that. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so, neat that she got nominated twice.
Yeah.
Sick.
Best film editing. Now, we've got the usual suspects here. One battle after another. One. I loved this guy's speech, by the way, and it was great. You could tell he'd really gone on a journey. I know the guy who edited F1. but yeah, I was happy that this one. I thought that F1 might win this actually.
I thought it might as well.
Yeah, but because the editing in F1 was absolutely superb. But I was very happy that one battle after another one. Enzo, dive in on this one.
I loved it. I was happy with this one, obviously. Sinners, like I said, it's just a lot of like camera A, camera B, cutting back forth. Like I said, there were some great moments in one battle after another, cinematography wise. But when I think of editing wise, there were so many amazing dissolve shots in that movie. That was something I noticed the third time I watched this movie. The dissolve shots are fucking awesome, man. Done on purpose, I'm pretty sure. Like, for instance, there's a scene where it's like the military guys all sitting around a table getting ready, planning to go raid the chicken factory. And then it dissolves to like this big aerial, big like landscape shot of all these trees with all the helicopters flying over them. And
that's a great shot.
A lot of awesome dissolves in that movie. And then the music's great too. I loved all the soundtrack and all the editing choices with that and everything. Yeah, especially the first like what's it called? Prologue. Right, the prologue of the movie, the first like 20 something minutes where it's all 20 years ago. It's like a big montage, you know. I thought that was really excellent, especially in terms of editing.
Yeah, Anna, anything to add?
Nope.
All right, let's move on. Best live action short.
Here it is. Here's your tie. You remember it correctly?
Yeah, this was the tie. I told you there was a tie, which was really bizarre, and I think that's an Oscars first. And they handled it quite well, and I was kind of, don't
you just like fucking flip a coin at that point or something? Is there something you do?
No, I think
you put on your Illuminati robes and go up to the go down to the base, the spanking basement, and whoever does the ritual correctly wins or whatever. Aren't there rules?
I mean, both of these teams were over the moon, and I've had various friends that have tried to get a short into the Oscars, and there is a route to doing it, which I'll save for another stream. But all right, we'll
are the
move
Oscars
on.
Still solid gold? Probably not, right?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
They used to be, right?
I can't. I'm not sure. Anna, I'm going to let you jump in on best makeup and hairstyling for Frankenstein, and then Enzo, just while I quickly do something. So if you go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm not surprised.
Spelled D-O-O.
He already. Never mind. I won't say it.
Yeah, he already.
How many lube breaks per stream? But I'm not surprised Frankenstein won this. Again, it did really fantastically in makeup and hairstyling in general, as supporting the character work of the costumes, but also in the creature effects, which are really, really nice. But I'll just give the honorable mentions to Ugly Stepsister and to Kokoho, both of which were really good films in terms of makeup. The Ugly Stepsister is a bit of an underrated gem. I would recommend it to people. It's kind of Cinderella, but from a body horror perspective. And so it's, a girl, and it's a non-English language film. I think is it Dutch?
Yeah.
But it's a girl kind of basically mutilating herself. And it is like an actual Cinderella retelling, but some of the body horror in it is really nice. It could easily have won. And then Kokoho as well. No one's heard of it, but it's kind of a story of two young men who go into Knoll Theater. It's a Japanese film, of course, and they're both doing what's called onagata, which is like in traditional Knoll theater, much like Shakespearean theater. Women didn't play any roles, and it was all men. But certain men would be the ones cast to play female roles, and they would do this sort of exaggerated, over-the-top form of femininity called onagata that is even more, it's seen as like more woman than woman, and that only men would be able to do this. And so Kokoho means treasure in Japanese, and is like the cultural designation that they give to sometimes the living people who keep traditional arts alive. And so they got a lot of people who do traditional no hairstyling and makeup to come on and do this one. And so this film was, again, kind of a love letter to those, the kind of arts that Timothée Chalamet would say, you're keeping them alive just to keep them alive. But I think this film had such excellent makeup in a traditional sense. I'm glad it got the nomination, although I don't think it would have won, and doesn't necessarily mean it should have won. But I'm glad both of them got recognized. Can't speak to the makeup in Sinners and The Smashing Machine.
Yeah, The Smashing Machine. I mean, The Rock looks pretty good. He's pretty unrecognizable. I mean, he's recognizable, but they do good makeup with his like brow and his hair, and they did a great job. I think the movie is actually nominated for elevating Emily Blunt's cleavage to such a degree. That was amazing. Wardrobe and makeup.
She's super hot as she is.
She's definitely hot, but she's hot, but she is not that stacked. Like the movie does some.
Yeah.
Remember Galaxy Quest? What they did to Sigourney Weaver? Like that's the same like level of Hollywood magic they pulled off with that movie. But no, it shouldn't have won. And Sinners. I mean, yeah, pointed teeth. I'm not, Remick turns into a big monster at the end. I don't care. I thought it was like
they're fingers.
So I liked it. I liked it and hated it when Michael B. Jordan's one of the twins becomes a vampire and he has a gold tooth, and now when he's a vampire, like he has like 2 gold fangs out of nowhere. It's like, how does that work? I don't care. But The Ugly Stepsister, I probably thought should have won technically, but because I mean, Frankenstein, it's not like Frankenstein, didn't deserve it. Frankenstein, the monster looked great. The design looked great, specifically that one scene where he's showing that, like, what was it, like a disembodied head or whatever coming to life, and stuff, all that creepy stuff, those pure animatronic scenes. Like, that stuff was great. But yeah, the makeup was awesome. Ugly Stepsister, I would have been happy with winning, but who knows?
Yeah, that one has some good makeup and prosthetic effects. I would recommend checking out that film if you're into body horror.
It's interesting that this is the one sort of nomination for The Smashing Machine, and I did think it's a shame that I'm not a big fan of Dwayne Johnson running around spouting all guns have got to be rubber now and putting all the firearms guys out of their jobs. Thanks for that, mate. But I think he did deserve to be there in the Best Actor category.
Nah, you're right. The Rock sucks, dude. It's like Lars Ulrich, Metallica. Like, fuck that band. The Rock, dude, don't forget the Maui fire nonsense, and all the other stupid stuff he's done.
Yeah, that's why he wasn't nominated.
Also, The Rock with his whole contracts and everything. He's got to be the hero. He's just one of those douchebags.
Yeah.
And the makeup wasn't that impressive, honestly. But it is funny that got movie that was like his big shot, and he came up short.
Yeah, people still dislike him. Sorry, dude. This guy who won Best Original Score, Ludwig Göransson. I absolutely loved him.
This is the one that Sinners deserve.
He's the one who did Fruitvale Station soundtrack.
Yeah.
He also did. So he won third time for winning. He won 2 years ago with Oppenheimer, which I loved that score. That score blew me away like the first time we hear it, Yeah. And then he also won for Black Panther, which I thought was not deserved. But again, a lot of flack for this guy because, what's this white man doing making the music for the movie for the black people? It's like, shut up.
Well, he's obviously friends with Michael B. Jordan after they presumably met on Fruitville Station.
And he's worked with Coogler several times.
Yeah. I mean,
he's great.
There's only one race on the planet, people.
Now, that being
human
said,
race.
I would have been fine with Johnny Greenwood winning from Radiohead for One Battle After Another. But the thing is, One Battle After Another soundtrack is very hectic and percussive.
I wasn't a big fan of
anxiety-inducing. I wouldn't put on the One Battle After Another soundtrack to just listen to, No. But I'm sorry, the score. The soundtrack was great. I wouldn't listen to the score, just to listen to it. Sinners, I felt the opposite. Like, the music was okay, the songs were okay, but the soundtrack is what I really loved. The score is what I really loved. God, fuck it.
Yeah.
I like Alexander Desplat. I am not surprised he didn't win. He's gotten 2 Academy Awards before. I just checked it. It was for, I think, Never mind, I can't pull it up really quick. But he's done lots of stuff. He also did one of the Twilight films, so he's had quite a record. But I really loved his work in Fantastic Mr. Fox. That was a really good one. But I'm not surprised he didn't win because he won. Was it Grand Budapest Hotel? Yes, and The Shape of Water, he's won for those. And I was surprised also that the F1 score didn't make it on at all because I really quite liked that score. But again, Hans Zimmer has won 2 Academy Awards and one quite recently.
There's a lot of rules on like how you can become nominated.
Particularly for original score. That was a topic that I discussed off camera with Bruce.
It's like a strict, like you can't use samples. You can't use when it comes to like electronic, like music style scores, like Solaris was one of my favorite. Solaris is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. The Cliff Martinez, the Steven Soderbergh version with George Clooney.
The
amazing.
George Clooney.
But I found out like technically it's not even eligible to be nominated for best soundtrack or score because of like how many people like were involved with actually putting the music together and all the technology that was involved with it. Which is stupid. And Hans Zimmer, he's one of those. I find his scores are good, but he as a composer is very overrated because he's one of those.
But I mean, he won before for Dune, which was definitely and I think that was deserved, and that was a more traditional orchestral score, and I thought it was quite nice. I pop on the Dune soundtrack, at least for the first film, and then he won also in '94 for The Lion King, which is like one of the best scores there is. So like
I prefer the 1980s Dune score. I think the 1980s Dune score pisses all over the new one. In fact, I'd be quite happy to rescore the Dune trilogy with the Dune 84 soundtrack because it's that main theme. It's just such a good theme. We're gonna have to
you're right, Enzo. That the
we're gonna have to increase speed here a bit, so I'm gonna have to keep these a bit shorter now. Best original song, obviously K-pop won. I think we're probably all in agreement. Great, we're all quite happy about that. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I thought they gave K-pop best animated feature, and I was pretty sure Sinners was gonna win. So I thought Golden should have won because I was like one time I was at the store and there was this little kid in a grocery cart and a little 4 or 5 year old girl and she was singing the Golden song just by herself, like a cappella. And I was like, there you go. The movie had just come out.
This was that really annoyed me. When they put the music on and the guy went to speak. I mean, come on, man.
That was
I'm gonna say
rude, I thought.
I'm not gonna say they cut the guy off. I think what happened is I think it's more like that guy. I think it's more like the guy, the woman in white probably took too much time talking,
right?
And now it's time to pass it around to all 5 of these guys. Hell no, they're just playing them off. They're like, nope, can't let one of them talk because then they're all going to want to talk.
Right. He tried to carry on. I mean, he carried on speaking for a little bit, and I thought they were going because
they played the music over him.
Somebody else, they did that earlier, and the guy went, "Come on!" and then they actually stopped it. They took the music off, and because people booed. I don't know if you heard, but people booed in the auditorium.
Yeah. The guy next to them was like, "Oh, what? Come on! You've got to please. He's talking."
Yeah.
What is he going to do? He's going to thank his mom and his God and family and everybody who worked on the movie. We get it.
But I think she did talk too long.
Yeah. Right.
The problem is with the woman, is what I'm getting at. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Let's move on. Best production design, absolutely deserved. Frankenstein, Tamara Devil, and Decoration Shane View. I mean, I did like production design on Sinners, One Battle After Another, also very good. Hamnet, no, come on. But
it's funny, Frankenstein, even though Hamnet is a film about, theater and should be a little more theatrical, Frankenstein was more, it felt real and grounded in a sense, and yet each of the locations was almost like a very, very lush theatrical set. I loved the way everything was set up. And I mean, even though it is like a theatrical set, you can still spin the camera 360. But I liked how slightly exaggerated, but not to the point of unbelievability, everything was. Amazing set design, amazing how they populated everything. And then once again, it works really well with the cinematography. You see similar stuff in Crimson Peak. Anyway, good stuff.
Okay, great. All right. Well, we'll move on unless Spencer, you got anything crucial to add there? No. Okay,
nope,
great.
I agree. Bring us in.
All right, best sound. Now, I have to say, I was very happy that F1 won this. I've seen all of the films except for Surat, and in my opinion, there was no contest. F1, the sound mixing and everything. The sound in F1 was a narrative in that film, and it was absolutely superb. I was very happy for this team. That's me on that. Enzo?
Yeah, I know the people who were really simping for F1. They would have been pissed if it didn't win. So I'm glad it did win. Otherwise, we would have had F1 fans rioting in the streets. So that's good. But no, yeah, the sound was awesome in the movie. One battle after another. I mean, I get it. I mean, usually you do best sound for the big spectacle films. But man, one thing I loved about One Battle After Another was how loud the gunshots are in that movie. Like very realistic sounding gunshots, like in Heat.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, obviously F1 should have won.
Okay, we will move on. Best visual effects, Avatar. I mean,
to no one's surprise.
No, to no one's surprise, and richly deserved, and kind of, you couldn't really compete with that, really, could you?
Look at these four bold white men, so proud of themselves, so confident. They know what they did. They're like, look at us. Yep. Cope, seethe, you guys. What are we going to do? I don't know. I'm not even saying that. It's just a lot of people hate those Avatar movies. And I'm like, dude, look at this shit. What are you talking about? Why are you not entertained?
Well, those are all the ones we're going to cover today. Thank you for the Hollywood Reporter for sponsoring this stream. But let's... we had a couple of older movies. We haven't got a lot of time left. And by the way, the reason I disappeared earlier was because I was putting a chicken in the oven. It was nothing to do with the doo-doo. And it's already...
you were about to explain that putting a chicken in the oven was a euphemism for going to the loo.
No, it's not. It's I haven't eaten today. Well, I had breakfast. Or actually,
I'll be right back, lads. I gotta go put a chicken in the oven if you follow me.
I had lunch with my brother, but that was way ago, and I realised we were sort of coming up to this stream, and I thought this chicken's going to take 40 minutes to cook. I'm not going to be able to have dinner before the stream. I'm going to have dinner late today, so I didn't want to put it in the oven after the stream finished, because then that's another 40 minutes I got to wait. So it went in about 20 minutes ago. So it's not a euphemism. There are actually 3 big chicken legs now in my oven. So I've got one spare. So Ryan Potter, come round. You can have chicken leg number 3. But okay, we're like we normally do. We're gonna shout out a couple of older films that we want to talk about. Anna recently watched the rather good. I remember seeing this at the cinema when it first came out. Apollo 13, cracking cast: Hanks, Bacon, Paxton, Sinise, and Harris.
Absolutely stacked cast. And
it's funny looking at that cast. Looking at that cast, Paxton is the youngest, and he was the first to go, which is such a shame.
Such a loss. Such a shame. That was 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Man, in 2016 was when everything started to go wrong in the world.
Yeah, do you know what? For me too. It has to be said. It was a pivotal year for me. But this is a great film. Ron Howard, I think it came out 95. Did we say? I can't remember much about that period in my life, but that's during the brain damaged years. But I do know I saw this at the cinema. I've still got a cinema ticket for it, I believe. And I've seen it many times since. I've seen it on DVD and so on. Did you see it for the first time just recently, or is it?
I've seen it ever since I was a kid. It came out. I didn't see it in cinemas because it came out the year after I was born, but I'd seen it quite a bit growing up as a kid and just absolutely loved it. But I don't think I'd seen it for about 10 years. And I was chatting with my brother, who is he knows more about astrophysics and space engineering than most people. And we were talking about how excited we are for Project Hail Mary. He's taking his daughters to see it this week. And I was like, hey, since you're here, since the girls are here, let's throw on Apollo 13 because it's such a good film. And I was just reminded again, this is one of the best movies. It is, as docudramas go, which we talked a little bit a couple weeks ago, both me and Al, about, docudramas can have their strengths and their weaknesses, and that they may adapt or change some parts of the real stories of real people to dramatize them in a way that can be really frustrating. But I've never heard any great controversies about how Apollo 13 is dramatized. I suppose they really upped the some of the tension between Fred Hayes, played by Paxton, and by Jack Swigert, who's played by Kevin Bacon, to kind of to have a tension between their two characters, and that, one kind of looks down on the other as potentially not as prepared for this mission as he should be, in like a last minute replacement. And I don't know how true that is. If you've ever listened to the original Apollo 13 recordings, they're so calm and professional, even at the point where, tank number 2 is just exploded, or during the reentry procedure. You're like, they are so calm about this. And there's a lot more tension in the film. But I'd say this film is a masterclass in ratcheting up tension and sustaining it, having it go back down, having kind of reversals of like, oh, something's just worked out, and then something else goes wrong. I think it's amazingly well done. And one other thing that stood out, this is an older film, from the mid 90s, and most of the effects look amazing still, pretty much everything. And it's because of extensive model work that they've done. There are just incredible shots of like the space shuttle before it launches, and especially even the facilities. A lot of those don't exist anymore, at least not in their present form. And they've done incredible model work that really, you buy completely the scale of all of these massive structures and massive rockets that NASA's building. There's one shot where Lovell, Tom Hanks, is walking along talking to some people, and he's next to this massive Caterpillar tank that's moving the shuttle he's about to, ride on in the next week. And I don't think you'd ever do that in real life. They wouldn't let you just be walking and talking casually next to this massive Caterpillar tank. But some of the shots and the cinematography, because having a DOP, sorry, Enzo, having a DOP who's really skilled with model photography is what makes them look realistic on screen. And it holds up excellently well, even, 30 years later. And just amazing performances all the way around. I think my favorite was actually Gary Sinise as Mattingly, the guy who didn't get to go into space because of the measles, because I love the way he's brought back into the movie and how complex his reactions to all of it are. The relief of not being on the shuttle, the guilt of not being there as well, and then how he's able to bring all of it around by being able to go into the simulator and kind of put himself through hell to help to help his friends who, he's as close to them as any family. Anyway, it's one of the greatest, I guess, space films, disaster films, survival films, whatever genre you want to put it in. It's really, really good. It was nominated for a lot of Academy Awards. I'm not sure it won any. I think
one of
best special effects.
Visual effects.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no,
that's not surprising.
Yeah. Did Babe win? Wait, Babe was nominated that same year, so I don't remember who won.
Let me look it up.
It would be funny if Babe won, because Apollo 13.
I like Babe as well, but
I love Babe. Babe like pioneered the talking animal special effects. But I love Apollo 13 when there's nobody. Like, it's a bunch of dudes working together to solve a problem. There's only one moment where they kind of start like pointing the finger at each other, and Tom Hanks is like, "Stop that!" And it's like, okay. And it's like, it only lasts for like a second. And it's like, I loved how it's all.
It won Best Sound and Best Editing at the Academy Awards.
Okay.
It was nominated for Best Picture. Ed Harris and Catherine Quinlan, who, by the way, is an actress I think is phenomenal, massively underrated. Both got a Best Supporting Actor nomination. It got Best Screenplay, Best Art Direction nomination, Original Dramatic Score. I love the music. One of James Horner's best scores.
Babe,
Also,
Babe did win
James
Best
Horner,
Visual Effects.
Yeah, I think Babe won Best Visual Effects.
It did.
Yeah.
But I absolutely adore also Ed Harris in this. And one thing that would be really tricky for the performances in this is that there are so many iconic lines that shaped the 70s and 80s. Like, Houston, we've had a problem. It's not Houston, we have a problem. It's Houston, we've had a problem. And also, failure is not an option, which, Gene Kranz, Ed Harris's character, has to deliver that one. And paying more attention to both of those lines than I have before, because they're going to be really difficult deliveries. How do you make them punctuated and give them the weight and meaning they have without making them stand out too much as like, I am delivering the famous line. And I think Hanks and Harris just do both of those lines absolutely perfectly.
Well, just a couple of bits of information. Dean Cundy, who was the DOP on this, I've been in talks before to get him on the channel for an interview, and I believe he's willing. So I'm gonna chase that up. You've just reminded me about that. So thank you for picking this. And the other thing, Enzo, is it did win Outstanding Achievement in Visual Special Effects at the BAFTAs, which actually, as we know, is a much more important award because it's British. So there you go. So it all worked out. It all worked out for the movie. Good pick. I still love that film. I'd give this film a Nielsen rating of 9 out of 10. Anna, what's your rating for Apollo 15?
I would give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's not absolutely perfect, but it is really close.
Near perfect. Enzo?
Yeah, solid 9. It's a good one.
Yeah, cool. Enzo's also got an oldie that he was telling me is making him think of taking up figure skating.
No, we'll save that for another week. I'll talk briefly about Jury Duty.
All right.
Jury Duty. I rewatched Jury Duty, the show, not the Pauly Shore movie, which is also stupid and funny. But there was that like kind of post. It was like filmed, I think, during the pandemic. Came out a few years ago. I don't think I ever talked about it on Nielsen ratings, but I know I talked about it on my show like a couple years after it came out. I watched it. Was it
the one James Marsden presented?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Got it.
Yeah, maybe I did talk about it here, but I rewatched it with Mom. She had never seen it. She loved it. But yeah, Jury Duty. Highly recommend watching that because not only is it a fun reality show, but it's like only 3 hours long. Wait, is this Company Retreat? This is a new thing. I haven't seen.
They did a spin-off.
I gotta watch that. Okay, I didn't realize that was a real thing. Hell yeah!
Well, keep explaining the.
Well, Jury Duty's a show. It's like what is it called? The Joe Schmo Show. It's a courtroom documentary where we're gonna dive into what it's like to be a jury and unprecedented access from the media on a court case. But what we know and everyone else knows is one guy. Everybody except one guy is an actor. Everyone except one dude is an actor, and basically he is the surrogate audience that we relate to, and they just do all this crazy crap. And it was cool because the movie is basically, the show's kind of like a real life version of 12 Angry Men, because we've got this court case, and we're gonna see if this guy, steps up, just like the Joe Schmo Show, where it's like, oh, we're kind of gonna. The Joe Schmo was made with the intention to embarrass this guy on reality TV because he thinks he's on a reality show. But everybody's an actor except him. But he keeps being like a super nice guy. I think this one was made more with that in mind. Like, we're going to show this guy, like, this dude is a real good guy. It's one of those movies, one of those shows that kind of restores your faith in humanity a little bit. There are cool people out there still. And yeah, it was a fun show. It's very funny. It's got this kind of Office style, like, humor to it. But what's interesting is like everyone's an actor, except the actors do not ever break character. So when they're doing their confessionals, they're doing it as their characters, So there is no like wink, wink. They do all that in the last episode. They save all the behind the scenes stuff for the big reveal when they tell the guy he's on TV, or he's on TV for a different reason, I guess. But yeah, I would recommend Jury Duty. It's a fun little, it's a fun little passive reality show you could spend a day watching.
Okay. Well, are you going to track down this spin-off and check it out? Look at this dude.
Yes. Yeah, this guy's the defendant, and the obviously guilty.
You never guess.
The obviously guilty, but is he really a defendant?
So is this like Spinal Tap, but like a jury thing?
Well, no, yeah, it's a mockumentary, except one of the guys is totally not in on the joke, and it's all done to just see what he does. Like, what does he think about? What is he going to do in this situation? Like, so what's really funny about it is, and I think this helps the guy kind of like loosen his expectations a little, because James Marsden is one of the jurors, and he plays himself. So famous actor James Marsden is like hey, I'm from the Sonic movies, and I shouldn't be here because I got a movie to be on. And the judge is like, no, you still have to be here. So the guy's like broing with like fucking Cyclops from X-Men, and he's like, whoa, like, yeah, me and Cyclops are hitting it off. Hell yeah. And there's like a scene where like he's like trying to get this part as this cowboy in some show called Lone Pine, and he actually tells him like, yo man, I want to help you because James Marsden is famous and there's paparazzi after him. He actually calls the paparazzi on himself to bring the paparazzi to the jury, so that way he can prove that him being there is a distraction and he shouldn't be on jury duty. And instead of the judge saying, oh well, obviously you're a distraction, you're going to be off the jury, he's now like, well, you're a big distraction, so we're going to sequester the jury in a hotel. They're like, no. So the idea is everyone's pissed off at James Marsden because of this.
I love that.
At any moment, the main guy could say, I saw this motherfucker call the paparazzi on himself, but he never does. He never could, he's always just like,
I so want to watch this. Where can we see this? Where's it?
I know it was like on it's free wherever it was. I watched it on, the internets, but it's one of those things where it was on it was like a Freevee, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know. But look into it. I'm sure there's a few platforms to watch it on. And I'm going to try to track down the sequel.
Have you ever had to do jury duty yourself, Enzo?
No. In fact, I'm kind of worried because I've never gotten like a jury duty summons. So I'm like,
oh, you've never gotten a summons even? Wow.
I wonder if like, there's probably like warrants out for me. It's like, you never went to jury duty. I'd be like, well, I never got a letter. I don't know.
They probably watched your shows on YouTube and they're going like, that guy can't be impartial.
I tell you what, if I ever get asked to go on jury duty, I'll be like, sir, I'm not fit for jury duty because I have a offensive YouTube channel here. Exhibit A.
Well, now I'm gonna put my camera on because it's funny that this guy has said this comment.
This is funny. 12 angry women. That'd be sick.
Well, yeah, and I did it already. I back in 2009, I directed 2 plays, one of which was called 12 Very Angry Women, and it was basically I reset the it was the same plot, it was a very similar story, but I changed all the genders of all the characters. One of the characters was a Muslim, and then
that's not a gender, Lance.
They actually unmasked her. They got her to take her robe off during the, because the racist juror was like saying, well, because you're one of them, that's why you're sticking by this kid, and forces her to take her mask off during the show. And this is the play brochure. I've just dug it out for you guys. Here you go. 12 Very Angry Women. And the see if I can increase the size of my camera thing here. Is that it? Oh shit! You know what? I'll take my glasses off. Can't see what the fuck I'm doing now. Let me solve that problem real quick. What have I done with them? Oh, I just have to put the J90 ones on. Here we go. It's my really big, like, nerdy glasses. Check these out. I look like Mr. Magoo.
You should just make that your look. That should just be.
So if so this is the brochure. You see how we did like the Last Supper for the photo, and the girl who played the Henry Fonda role. That's Indra Ovi, who gets kind of bitten by Tom Cruise in an Interview with the Vampire. She told me a really funny story about that. And yeah, so this was the brochure, the 12 Very Angry Women, and it is the same plot, but I changed it. I set it in London right before the Olympics, and the death penalty had been brought back in to bring down crime in London, which had risen to shocking levels. Something which may well be considered in the near future, funnily enough, with the way it's going at the moment. And
this was in 2009.
Yeah, and the plot was still the same in the sense that I kept all those same elements and the same type of jurors in, but I rewrote all the dialogue to work with that scenario. And it was a non-profit making play, and I actually got a very strongly worded legal letter from the people that represented the work of the writer, Reginald Rose, who of course is one of my favorite writers because he wrote The Wild Geese, one of my favorite films. And I wrote back to them and I said, look, this is a not for profit play being done by a group of actors that are not getting paid. It's a homage to the original thing. We're not taking the show anywhere else. And it's a female production, and and the script's been substantially changed. And I basically got a letter back that said, as long as you're not taking it anywhere else, we'll consider this the end of the matter. In other words, don't fucking put it on anywhere else, otherwise we're going to sue you. And then not long after that, because we wanted to get the rights to actually put it on, the rights were bought out by this American theatre company, who then restaged it in London with Napoleon Solo playing the old man from Magnificent Seven, Robert Vaughan. And on the night that I went to see it, Robert Vaughan was ill. So I didn't get to see him. But my friend Nick from Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, he played that one. Hey, let's run some ideas up the flagpole and see how it stands. He played that guy. So yeah, that was a very good production of 12 Angry Men. So there you go. I've done that version of 12 Angry, and it was good. People loved it. It was a lot. It was a really hard production to direct. 12 Very Angry Women. It was very well named. So yeah. Well, that's it for our show this week, because I've got to finish sorting out that chicken, not a euphemism, which is now in the oven, along with some cauliflower cheese. I can't believe I'm having this humongous meal quite late. Which means
if you're hungry, if you haven't eaten all day,
I'm going to stay up and maybe I might do a stream or something. Enzo, what you got coming up, buddy?
I'm going to stream right after this. I'm going to drink, I'm going to play Edward 40 Hands and watch a bunch of Leprechaun-related crap for St. Patrick's Day before we do Tighten Up Tuesday on AJ's channel. So I'm going to be litty titties tonight by the time we get there. So yeah, I'm going to drink 2 40 ounces of Mickey's, probably just stream, watch some weird Leprechaun stuff. So come on over. Probably be like a 5-10 minute break. And then fire up the stream and be watching weird crap like we always do. And other than that, I think the movie that's coming out this week, we're doing a re-release of Willow. Yeah, Willow. We're doing 2 Warwick Davis movies, 2 Warwick Davis re-release commentaries back to back. So Willow is a full-length commentary. It's me, Dudicus, Leon from Words of Paradise, Bolt the Ward, and Sidivir. And we watched Willow, I think last November, something like that. So yeah, it's good to have it back up, and it's a good one. So
but is Willow getting a re-release?
No, I'm re-releasing my Dorkside We Watch commentary of it. I took a bunch of videos down and to re-edit them and get them past copyright claims. So yeah.
Have you been struggling this last week as well? It seems it's gotten
No.
Horrific.
What happened was I got a copyright strike from MGM because MGM changed their mind around October. Like all the movies that were previously allowed in full on YouTube were suddenly blocked. And I was like, okay, big deal. But then they removed Lady in White, and I got a strike. And I realized, like, oh, they can do that? Oh, okay, I should probably just delete all the MGM movies and maybe a couple others.
So proactively just fixing any problems.
Right. Yes, we both
Something
have a
like
YouTube channel. I don't know if does Anna have a YouTube channel? My channel's Stupenzo, obviously. We'll be streaming there right now after this. So I think Anna.
I do not have a YouTube channel. I couldn't do what you guys do. I'm actually an archaeologist in real life.
Yeah,
I'm not as obnoxious and narcissistic as you two assholes. I'm just kidding.
Do you have an archaeological fact of the week for us this week?
I'll save it for next week.
Can I save for next week?
It's South Africa related, which you have a connection to. So
I do, because I'm actually South African, which is not a well-known fact among my viewers, but it is true. Yeah, so I am. So
I'll save it for next week because it's also, you should consider, it's a cool archaeological story that you could consider doing a screenplay on.
Marvelous.
There's been a documentary about it, but never a screenplay, and it's one of the coolest archaeological stories of the last decade.
Well, I mean, you might have to tell me about that in secret so somebody doesn't nick the idea before me. Well, look, thanks very much. We had quite an active audience in, and I see the loyal fans have all been in. That's really great to have you. it is possible I might do another stream tonight. I'll see how I feel. I've got a couple of important announcements, actually. So Paul Webster, the trance DJ that was originally I was interviewing on Monday, he's now coming on Friday because he had the flu, so we had to move that. But I think of more interest to people will be the industry interview that I'm doing with Michael Ward, who's both an author and a games designer. He actually started off wanting to become a filmmaker. I understand that pain, sir. And he's created this fantastic game called Sunfall, which is a choose-your-own adventure series, but it's one that's very, very different. It's currently on Kickstarter. They had a goal of £5,000. I think they're now up to 65 grand. So it's not like he needs the work from me to reach his goal. But nevertheless, it's a really, really good game. The artwork and stuff for it, I'll show you guys a little bit of the Kickstarter stuff. But you can see the production design on this game is really top notch. One of the interesting things about it, because there's a playtest kit for it, which I'm either going to do later tonight or I might do it tomorrow, just as Enzo's going to bed probably. But this is the Kickstarter for it. I'm going to drop that in the chat so people can go and check it out.
Inspired by Aztec mythology. So this could be the archaeological fact of the week.
It could be. Well, it could be the archaeological fact of next week if you go and have a dig around. But it's a series of game books, and the rules are normally with something like Lone Wolf or Fighting Fantasy. If you guys have ever played those before, you got like a bigger rules section at the beginning of the book. With this, it's different. The rule, when you get to the rules bits, they kind of explain to you as the story goes along. But the visuals and the various components and the look of the world are really, really interesting. There's a lot of great videos on here. There's a video on the combat system, which you can find on YouTube as well. You level up as you go along. Just tells you all about it. It's an extremely well-made pitch on Kickstarter, which doesn't surprise me, is done really, really well. And there is like I said, there's a little playtest kit you can go and you can actually have a quick go of the beginning of book one, and there are 4 books that are coming out. So you can get a 4-book bundle for $125 or £90 UK. I am going to be getting these. Some people might know that I play these books on my channel occasionally. Very niche topic, but I do enjoy doing it. And I've spoken to Michael already. We've had a chat, and that chat almost became the interview of itself. A very, very passionate and chatty guy. So yeah, really look forward to speaking to him. So that's tomorrow at 8 p.m. And then, as I said, on Friday, I've got international trance DJ Paul Webster coming on. He's a pretty big deal in the music industry over here. Well, certainly in the live trance music scene. And I actually got to dance for him when he did his, maybe not his last gig, but a couple of weeks ago. I was dancing on the podium behind him for the event. So I managed to speak to him as he came off and said, listen, if you could come on my podcast, that'd be excellent. Unfortunately, he agreed, and I followed it up, and he still agreed. So sometimes you follow these things up and people are like, yeah, I've changed my mind. Fortunately, yeah, he should be on Friday at 8 p.m. So 2 interviews. Now, I've got an even bigger industry interview to announce. Today, I managed to bag a special effects supervisor who was a friend of a dear friend of mine. So my special effects supervisor and VFX guy was a lovely man called Alan Marks. Alan sadly passed away in 2021. And he did the special effects on The Journey. He also did all the prep work for Pegasus Bridge, the film that never happened. Now, I'm going to be getting visual effects supervisor. Is one of his main titles now. This man was the visual effects supervisor on the entire series of Band of Brothers, but more recently, he also had the same role on House of Dragon. So Angus Bickerton is going to be coming on the channel. for an industry interview. We've also got Danny Webb coming back as well, Lord Pennytree, to talk about his role on the Game of Thrones show that we all enjoyed. If you
he
look
also
at
did the Da Vinci Code, Bickerton.
Yeah. Bickerton's credits are very impressive. You're talking about the Kingsman movies, the Monuments Men. He's done various other things, some of the Narnia films, Angels and Demons.
Hitchhiker's Guide. Wow, what a resume.
Yeah, he's worked with some big names. So I've also got some interesting questions to ask him about Project Shadow Chaser. So that's going to be good. Anyway, we haven't agreed the date yet, but he is adamant he is coming on. So I'm quite happy to announce it. And he's done a huge amount of miniature and practical effects work as well. And he's got some fantastic pictures of that stuff, which I've seen, which we're going to be able to show during the interview. So, might be getting independent film director Oliver Hollingdale will probably also be coming back on the channel in lieu of his London screening of his feature film. Oh, God, I've forgotten the title of the film. I think it's called I Must Have More Castles. But it's a fantasy epic feature film that he spent about 2 years, 3 years, 4 years even making. It's got a fantasy name. I've forgotten it. He's going to type it in the chat any second. That'll probably come up when we're doing the closing credits. But yeah, he's just got to add some more castles and then it's ready to go. Enzo, thanks very much for co-hosting with me today. And thanks to everybody in the chat. Yeah, mate, dude, if you could do me that Angus Bickerton industry interview slide, so I've got it ready.
I'm about to get shithoused, so maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, well, after you've been shithoused or tomorrow. Tomorrow's good. Thanks to everyone who's been supporting the channel. I had one of those things where suddenly I lost a load of my subscribers. I think it's just
they purge inactive subscribers all the time.
Yeah, they
happens to me.
Yeah. So I suddenly went down by about 100. Literally happened, overnight in a single day, and I was like, "What the fuck's happened here?" So I went round on my social media going, "Please subscribe," and I've just got back up to where I was before. But yeah, hopefully with some of the bigger guests I've got coming on later this year, we might get to 10K before the end of the year. Who knows? We'll see. We shall see. It depends how amazing that archaeological fact of the week is next week. That could be responsible for 1,000 subscribers alone. Yeah. So Ollie's definitely not paying attention because he would have said the name of his movie by now. He would have come in and told me. So he must be listening at work or something like that. Right. That's it for us. So thanks to everybody. Hope to see you all again real soon.
Misfits and dreamers getting innovative. It's film, TV, and theater in the mix. Industry interviews where ideas get their fix. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast, creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Interviews with fellow artists on the rise and reviews that might surprise. Films, TV shows from back in the day. You might just find a hidden gem today. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast, creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Filmmakers, comic book creators, stand up proud. Actors, musicians, board game designers, be loud. At Outcast Creative, amazing's the word. He even interviewed the legend, Gail Ann Hurd. He's creative, we're creative. How about you? Share your passion, join the crew. At Outcast Creative, we're breaking through. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. Hang with Lance and the Outcast crew. So come along, take a chance. Join the Outcast, hang with Lance. Bring your vision, your art, your flair. At Outcast Creative, there's always room to Just one more day. Breathe. Just one more day. I'm here for one more day. Nightmares haven't gone away, but I'm still here to fight another day. I was sleeping so long, but now I'm awake, not leaving life to chance. I've made my own fate, because it's my time to breathe. I'm not going to leave. I'm no longer alone in the dark, 'cause it's my time to dance. Yes, it's my time to dance. We all dance the pain away, making it to another day. Just one more day. To dance. I know that you're there, guiding me through. I know I'm still here because of you. When I get up to dance, I know that you're right there. I feel your presence next to me. I know that you care. It's our time to dance. To dance. Yeah, it's my time to dance. To dance with you. Just dancing with you. Now it's our time to dance. Breathe. We make it to the next day.